Bienvenidos to the Latino Slant. It is another live edition of the week. Special packed show with, of course, box office actuals. Barbie and Oppenheimer continue their box office onslaught, but there is a new champ in town we will discuss, as well as pop culture potpourri, Hispanic Heritage Month, arte, and our exciting guests return to talk about the strikes. Writers Guild, SAG strike. Actress Chelsea Rendon, triple threat Tom Konkle. Pues vámonos.
Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Thought I was your only vato. Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Won't you give me un beso?
Paulie here on the Latino Slant. It is a Monday. We are live every Monday. I'm trying to type something. Every Monday just for you guys. It is the one time of the week, Monday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, that you can count that I will be live during the week. Videos for sure. Sometimes I go live when it's special, but this is our big show, and we have a lot to go over, guys. Like I said in the intro, I do have a lot of box office stuff, a lot of new movies coming out the next couple months I want to talk to you about. And then we have our guests who are going to give us their reports on what's going on with the strike. But one of our guests is actually running for office in the SAG union, which I think is fantastic. So we're going to get all that, get insight that you cannot get anywhere else, guys. You cannot. So do me a favor right now. Say hello in the chat. Smash the like. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. Double check all that good stuff. If you be so kind, send us a super chat as well. And let's say hello to all the early birds here. Okay. Oh, I see we got a bunch of sponsors. Did we get like a membership? You did, Shelly Lee. Gifted 5 Latino Slant memberships. Shelly Lee. Gracias, Shelly Lee. Let's play the dancing doggy. Boom. Yeah, look at all that. Thank you, Shelly Lee. Muchísimas gracias, mujer. Mujer. Thank you for the gift memberships, mujer. You guys like that? All right. So, okay, let me say hello really quickly to all our awesome early birds. Okay, we got Dr. Gonzo, Daniel T, Penny, Olaf. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Bonzo. ¿Qué pasó, Bonzo? All right. English. What's up, English? English Batchers. Oh, I like that. I like the Hi, chat. I hope strikes last till they get different writers. Oh, my God. Well, we're going to talk to a writer today, so hopefully he can maybe change your mind. I bought my Blu-ray, The Haunting, today. Old black and white movie. I love The Haunting. Who is in The Haunting? I'd like to know more about that one. All right. Who else do we got? Of course, Horseradish Power is here. Got the good TF. ¿Qué pasó, TF? Hannibal, Sean, Sacktown. All right. The early birds. I have said hello to you guys. Now, if you guys know what's been going on, we did a big video reaction to the Friday night Tights folks in their Blue Beetle review. Now I have some Friday Night Taco thoughts, because that video for the channel has blown up, and we've gotten a whole bunch of new people. If you're here and you're new because of that video, bienvenidos, welcome. If you're not a Latino, that is okay. You're now christened Slantino. That's right. You don't have to be a Latino to be a Slantino. So just so you get that right. Here's my thoughts. What I unequivocally agree on with that panel and with a lot of channels that talk about these movies that come out of Hollywood, where if there's a different type of spice to it, is the mismarketing of the film. I was just talking to Fletcher. He just saw Blue Beetle finally. I truly believe that this movie was just mismarketed completely. Then you add to that just some of the off-color remarks by the director and other people in the movie. It just doesn't help, man. You got to understand, guys. You guys know, we're in a really divided times right now. Everything is so polarized. Everything's so political. Everything is just, and if you don't agree, you can get canceled. If you have a different opinion, you can get shut down. That's the era we're in. So if a movie is mismarketed, like I truly believe Blue Beetle has, and I see some other Latino films coming up that there's some mismarketing going on, you're just going to turn off audiences, man. Why would you want to do that? And I've said this before. I think the Warner Brothers just completely turned off a huge segment of the movie-going population with Blue Beetle. So I that's where I am just really in step with a lot of our friends who have their different channels, in that, if there's something that you really believe in, it's a new film with a new superhero who has a different background, and you're gonna bring the family in. Let the work speak for itself, because the work at the end of the day speaks volumes. The work at the end of the day brings people in, and the work at the end of the day, good word of mouth keeps bringing them back. So that's really what I wanted to say with the Friday Night Taco, with the thoughts that I have there. You can catch that video. It's still getting lots of views, and again, you know, from this, we go to the box office actuals, and I got to tell you guys, let me get this down. I have to tell you guys, Blue Beetle as a movie, as far as box office actuals, it's not doing great. It's not doing great. Now, the good thing about it, and let's take a look, I'll make myself even smaller, is that this is from the numbers. Blue Beetle, it only fell 51%, but which is not bad. It's actually pretty positive, because you see a lot of these superhero movies, they'll go like 70 when it's really horrendous, like a Flash, 65, 70%. The problem is it didn't make a buttload of money the first weekend. So 51%, that's still half of what it made last week. So if you're looking at this movie to break even, it's got a haul. It's got a haul, guys. And I gotta say that people are just turned off. From my circles, I see every Latino influencer, screenwriter, actor, I don't know what, promoting it. Let's go. And the numbers suggest that Latinos have gone to see this film. Cool. What about everyone else? Plus, Latinos are now going to see Gran Turismo. That movie made a buttload of money. Let me read some facts from you guys. Barbie is now the highest grossing global release in the history of Warner Brothers. Over the weekend, it earned $18.2 million in 75 international territories to push the worldwide gross to a smashing $1.34 billion. That's Barbie. And it's not going away. It's not. It's really remarkable. Just as remarkable is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is barreling towards the $800 million mark worldwide box office after earning $29.1 million from 82 territories. A debut in China looms on the horizon. It hasn't even opened up in China. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Let me throw this Oppenheimer for you guys. It's now also top 5 highest grossing R-rated films of all time. Do you think it'll reach $1 billion? The Joker was over $1 billion. Deadpool 785. Deadpool the first Deadpool 782. Oppenheimer 777. Look at that, guys. That's Oppenheimer. Now, I want to also, guys, I want you to also pay attention. Now, as a film going fan, I am absolutely ecstatic for movie going right now. Don't believe. Listen, our friends are going to say what they're going to say, but look at all the top 15 films right here. The top 15 films this past weekend. What do they have in common? They've all made over $1 million over the weekend. That's a lot of money. And that's besides the National Cinema Day, which I got information about that as well. But just take a look, guys. Okay? Number 15th is Jurassic Park 30th anniversary release, 1.7 million. Golda, 1.7. Sound of Freedom, 2 million. Mission Impossible, 2 million. Talk to Me, 2 million. Haunted Mansion, 2.1 million. The Hill, 2.5. Excuse me, and on and on and on. Top 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 6 million. Oppenheimer, 9. Blue Beetle, 12. Barbie, 15. Gran Turismo, 17 million. That is incredible for cinema. And I have to tell you guys, the staying power of Barbie and Oppenheimer, nationally, domestically, and internationally, is it's gonna last a few more months. Then China's opening up. But this is great for moviegoing, for cinema. We should celebrate that. Now, what I pride myself in also, too, if you're new to this channel, what I pride myself in is I actually go and see everything I talk about. I saw Strays yesterday. We had a blast. That movie is really raunchy and wrong, but it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It was wrong, man. It was wrong. But again, I think this is incredible for cinema. I wanna let me see. Did I grab this? Okay, well, let's go right now. Let's go right. Let me illustrate my point. Let me illustrate my point. Okay, we're still on box office here, guys. Let me illustrate my point, and I hope everyone's doing well. Smash the like. Let's get people in here. I shared the link on Twitter, by the way, so go ahead and reshare that. Okay, let me present to you exhibitor relations and their and their estimates, which is really good. I like these guys. Okay, we got top 10 summer flicks domestic, right? As of today. Let's go from the top down. Let's go from the bottom up. Elemental, this is domestically 151 million. Transformers 157. Mission Impossible 168. Indiana Jones 174. Sound of Freedom 181. Little Mermaid 297. Oppenheimer 300 million. Guardians 359. Spider-Man 381 and Barbie 594. Elemental, Mission Impossible have proven to have legs. We know Sound of Freedom does. We know Oppenheimer does. Guardians, Spider-Man, Barbie, we know that. Now, let's go worldwide. Let's go internationally. internationally, let's go from the bottom. Let's go from the bottom up. Number 10, Indiana Jones, 379 million. I had pegged it for it not making more than 350 million. I'm 30 million bucks off. I don't think it has much more in the gas tank. It probably costs that much just to make. Transformers, 438 million. I think it broke even, right? Elemental, 468 million. Big time legs on that one. Mission Impossible, 551 million. That's great. I had initially forecasted 800 million. It ran into the Barbenheimer wall. Little Mermaid, 568. Spider-Man, 687 million. Fantastic for Spider-Man. Fast X, the quickest ever to get to 700 million, and it is gone. No one's talking about Fast X. Oppenheimer, 770 million. Guardians, 845 million. It is now making money. So that is a rare win for a Marvel film this year. Like it's probably the biggest win for Marvel in a long time. And then of course Barbie with 1.34 billion. Good God, guys. Good Lord. Wow, that's a lot of money. So this is, again, I see this as being really good for the box office. I don't see, I think it's fantastic that so many different types of films have done so well and are continuing to do well. Like, again, 15 different movies this past weekend that made over 100 million. And as it stands, right, look, the Blue Beetle, say what you will, right? It's underperforming. That being said, internationally, all together, it's made over 80 million bucks. That's not bad. The problem is it cost 100 million to make, and then to market, it costs more money. So that's the box office. Let's get to your thoughts right now before we go on to our next topic, guys. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, I didn't send that off here. And we got a poll going on. 38 votes. How much longer will the strike last? 20% say it's going to end in 2 months, 18% 4 months, 61% next year. It's going to go on till next year. Yikes. All right, what do we got in? We got some starred stuff. Okay, JL, the only one thing Hollywood forgets is that minorities aren't stupid. If a movie is inauthentic, it will fail. Very good, yeah. I wasn't for Latinos, but was it FR? It wasn't for Latinos, but it was definitely full of love and respect for the heritage that anyone can easily enjoy. What's what movie are you talking about, Sean? And good to see you, Sean. But I don't know what movie you're talking about. Jonah Hex, Sunday it did well. Friday it did really bad. I take it Blue Beetle. Phil, I watched Blue Beetle. It was the only one in the theaters. I was the only one in the theaters. I had to say I dug the family aspect of it. Really? You were the only one in the theater? That's not good. Hey, that's not good. I'm not gonna lie. English is a member of the channel. What's happening in English? I thought BB was a 6, 7 out of 10. Saw it with my son because of your stream. I don't think the Batman comment helped, but any other time would have been a solid hit. It did not help. It didn't help the DC crowd, that fandom that just doesn't want to hear any noise. They were, I truly believe that people wanted to like it because of Sholo, and then they saw the trailer that just turned a lot of people off. People are like, I'm not going to it. I get it. Pirate Bob, my Latino son-in-law, said he won't watch a movie that calls Batman a fascist, even as a joke. He knows how much I love Batman. I'm going to tell you right now, It being in the trailer was a terrible decision because in the movie is hilarious because of who's saying it in the scene that it's in. I can't argue. Like I can't try to convince you. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. So maybe later when it's streaming, you'll see what I mean. Okay. JL. Hello, JL. How are you optimistic when there's so much BS in the market, Paulie? Hollywood seems disconnected to the populace to me. These movies are the outliers. I'm always optimistic, JL. I I also, in regards to the box office that I've seen, I like a lot of these films. Right? Blue Beetle, Oppenheimer, Strays was hilarious. Sound of Freedom, Mission Impossible. I mean, that's five great hits right there. Then there's other films that were problematic or people didn't like, or Guardians. People love Guardians. Spider Verse. People love the Miles Morales. So, um, I don't. There is BS, but I think more of the BS is how they market these films. Okay, let me see. Sacktown, Jay, Blue Beetle trailers did not do it justice. It's just like how the Yellowstone show sounds lame on paper, but once you watch it, you'll love it. People just need to watch Blue Beetle. I love Yellowstone, and I could totally see how it turns people off. Absolutely. Sean, Guardians was a true film. They actually gave Gunn creative control. He made the best MCU movie, but people doubt he's going to do Superman justice. Yeah, people, yeah. I think they're just the thing with Gunn. I don't think people doubt his creativity and what he's done. Just like kind of like the comments he's coming off as now. He's not just a filmmaker, but he's now helping run DC Films. So yeah, Blue Beetle. Oh, for real, for real. For the last month, I've been saying at least until Thanksgiving, if not Christmas minimum strike. You're on the strike. Lombardi, how are you? I wonder how many movies got halted by the strike. A lot, and yet there's a lot being done. Sin, reposting. Saw an interesting video about the strike that I'm going to pass along to you, Paulie. Curious to know your thoughts. And we got our first super chat of the day. Woo! KN Kareen for $4.99. Hello, Gran Turismo. Great movie. Great movie. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, thanks so much. We love super chats. Keeps this channel running. And the gifted memberships as well from Shelly Lee. Thank you so much. We are quickly approaching that time we're going to have our first guest on, actress Chelsea Rendon. And then right after her, going to bring him in a few minutes after the fact, triple threat writer, director, actor, Tom Konkle. So let's bring in Fletcher really quick. How you doing, man?
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola. What up?
What's up, guys? What's up, Slantinos in the house?
Santino's in the house. Well, talk about pandering.
Yeah, let's go.
HHM is going to be quickly upon us as of September 15th, Hispanic Heritage Month. Have you gotten your Hispanic plans ready yet?
I do. I have,
You do?
a stockpile on tortillas. I have extra beans because they might run out. Rice. I have some tomatillos. I have,
Silly.
a lot of onions and garlic. A lot of onions and garlic.
Silly.
Should be all right. I don't know. It's
So
always rough every Hispanic month.
I mean, Hispanic Heritage Month is like the marketing bonanza for a lot of these companies to pander to the U.S. Latino audience. And comic books are no different, my friend.
No.
So I want to bring up let me see. Where is my? I had it here. Oh, it's an image. Okay, that's right.
Okay.
It's an overlay, and here we have. Oh no, that's not it.
No. Well,
Okay, give me a second, everyone. I thought I had this ready.
I know because if you remember, I think last year they did a Green Lantern with the
With
DC
tamales,
Comics. Yeah, he did. It had like a bag of tamales,
right?
you know, and
Yeah, these
yeah, it
guys know
was,
Latinos.
yeah, it's like tamales. Yeah.
So I got all my PDFs except for the one that I need.
Well, that's what
That's the
happens.
way it goes.
That's the way it
But you
happens.
know what? I can find it on. Just give me a second. So, what? Yeah, I mean, what's the chat saying as I look for this?
Yeah, there's just tacos. I need no stinky Spanish Heritage Month.
Right.
And Bonzo asked me if I'm stocked up of candles with saints on them. Son, you don't even know. My candle game is on lock. We got so many. Shit, you don't even know.
I mean, what I will say, what's good about Hispanic Heritage Month is that they'll hire a lot of local musicians.
Yeah, you do have mariachis everywhere.
Maria, any type of Latino tinged,
Yeah,
musicians or groups, man, they're getting work.
they're getting work today. Yeah, everybody's getting work. Yeah, it's funny because I'm over here back east, and I just remember seeing like they have like all the flags out in a campus,
Hmm.
and they had the mariachi and stuff, and I was like, well, that's cool. It's like so I'm like waiting for okay, are there other bands gonna play? No, we just have the mariachi, but everybody should be represented because the mariachi, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that we'll take it. We'll take it. I know, no, all the Brazilian mariachis sure appreciate it.
Brazilian mariachis.
There's no Brazilian mariachis. I'm being facetious. I'm just saying that every time they do something, it just feels like it's all they only have mariachis. You know what I mean?
It's
It's like
only Mexican,
there's only one thing.
right?
It's hilarious, but it's cool
Well,
because we like it. Everybody's
yeah.
dancing. Are
After
there
this
Argentinians,
segment,
Cubans?
yeah. After this segment, and before we bring Chelsea on, I am gonna have a non mariachi music minute. So
Ooh,
that's cool.
stay
But yeah,
tuned.
it can get a little too much. Okay, so let's share this, guys. What DC Comics is doing for Hispanic Heritage Month this year. Here we go. And this is the work of Pablo Villalobos, full collection of Hispanic Heritage Month. Variant covers for
Okay,
DC
cool.
have been revealed.
All
Here we
right,
go. Blue Beetle, Hot Girl,
right.
Kyle
Mhm,
Rayner, The
right.
Question, Jessica Cruz, Bane, Wildcat, and Pedro Peña. Um, yeah, what do you
Okay.
guys think in the chat?
Yeah, I didn't know. So the question now is Latino and a woman.
I don't know.
Who
You're
knew?
you're asking me?
No, I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
asking. I'm telling myself that. But interesting. Okay. All right. Whatever happens,
What do
yeah,
you guys
it's
think of that
cool.
artwork, first of all?
The artwork is cool. I like
Hmm.
the artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit because I think a few of the characters are
Oh, okay.
not straight.
So wait, hold on. All right. So Olaf saying that the Dutch guy, no Lars Latino group. Wait. Hey, which one's gay? Is now gay.
I think
A
well,
gay
so,
Latino woman. Okay.
yeah, so the hot girl character, from my understanding, and also
Mm-hmm.
the Shazam character now,
Mm-hmm.
is it's they are gay now, or
They weren't before, or were
yeah, they weren't before.
they weren't before? All
Right,
right. Sean thinks it's a
right.
great artwork.
The artwork is great. I like the artwork. I think
I
it's really
think my
cool.
favorite of these is Pedro, the Marvel, the top left here.
Yeah, that's the most colorful one because it all seems like well that and the Blue Beetle. I like the hot girl. Um, slide, and I just the new Green Lantern kid. I don't know. I don't like the new uniform.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of different, but
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Lady Green Lantern one. I think the flower is a little bit too much.
The flower.
Yeah, she's got like a little flower on, like like she's gonna dance flamenco anytime now. That's kind of taco.
I don't know. I think
It's
these
like
chicks look hot, man.
no, they're very well drawn. I'm just saying
Yeah.
she's got a flower in the thing. It's Green Lantern flying around with a flower on her on the side of her head. It's like,
Gotcha.
it's a little on the nose, no?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you know what? I like that. I like that.
Nice.
You know.
Well, there you go.
You know. Is she? Is that the one that's supposed to be gay or what?
No, the hog girl. So the girl with the wings, the yellow.
Oh, okay.
Woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that going to be a movie? Hot Girl?
Well, supposedly they were going to have a TV show.
Right. They're going to have, what's her name? Isabella Merced.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they were going to do a Green Lantern, like a,
right.
Oh, like a detective show.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's up, Marvel purists? What's going on? Bonzo, the artwork is well done. The Shazam guy is definitely out. Like,
well, the artwork is really good on the.
What do you mean out? Guy. Like
it's out of the closet. Yeah.
Oh wait, because in the movie he's like, "I'm gay," and they all knew.
Yeah, right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh,
if Bane was gay, there'd be more breaking stories, more back-breaking stories. Oh, hey, TF,
hi. Yeah, Mike has bad knees. Said that I guess the hog girl, the question, and the one guy from the Shazam family are gay now. So okay, so I guess the question.
Oh, here we go. Mike has bad knees. He's got the latest here.
He's got the latest on the gays.
Hot girl, the question, and the one guy from Shazam family are gay now. Well,
right.
they're gay and they don't play. They're here to stay.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Listen, I never read them. Their comics. We'll see how they come to life, if they come to life in movies. I think DC's got bigger problems. But those are the variant covers for Hispanic Heritage Month. At least last year they had like hot girls serving Spanish dishes. Green Lantern had a bag of tamales. I mean, that was really embarrassing.
Yeah,
that was really embarrassing.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah, that was really embarrassing. Okay, very cool, guys.
But doesn't it look like a little like a loteria almost colored to them?
Loteria, yeah, a little bit. I mean,
just the way they're set up.
It's like that's like such the easy go-to.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna have what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a musical break. This is something you sent me.
Oh, cool.
This is a vallenato group, which is Colombian music.
Yes.
But they're in China.
Yes. Oh, cool.
And
yeah, that's pretty fun.
I think that's pretty. I listened to the song. I'm like, this is wild. It's actually in, was it Mandarin?
I believe it's in Mandarin, yes.
And Spanish.
Yes. Then
afterwards, she's here, man. Chelsea Rendon is going to come on, and she's going to end the strike as we know it.
She's doing it.
All right, we'll be right back. We'll be right back. Here we go.
月亮照拂黑暗道路，繁若树已随风而就。看开大地等候时雨，等你回来妩媚似福。
沉醉在你浩瀚心动，唤醒我一夜一起柔，笑靥绽放，灵魂全动，无法自拔，深陷其中。
Tú alertas mis sentidos con tu voz enamorada.
Con tu sonrisa de niña, cómo me mueves el alma, cómo me quitas el sueño, cómo me robas la calma.
你的掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。你的掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。月亮照拂黑暗道路，仿若树影随风而去，看看大地等候时雨，等你回来妩媚似福。你在掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。你在掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。
欢迎来到这里，感受文化风情，这里人们友好，人人为善，乐于助人，从南到北，自西向东，突然丰厚肥沃，充满阳光希望，青山环抱的城，绿水围绕的春，海风带着金辉，点点扫落山谷，缤纷绽放的花，跳跃爱的音符，沙沙的律动，步步连接友谊。
你在掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。你在掌心我是美的钥匙，yo te quiero， 无声一时打开明媚灿烂，yo me muero。Yo te quiero， yo me muero。Yo te quiero， yo me muero。
All right. That was wild. That was something. We're now coming up after the break. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's Latino Slant. And yeah, about 6 weeks ago, we had our friend Don kind of at the beginning of the actor strike had just started, and the writer strike was still happening. And we also had Tom Konkle on. So we're kind of going to reunite both of them. But first, we wanted to give actress Chelsea Rendon some minutes, some times that we can just talk to her. So let's bring her in. Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, someone's been out in the sun. I could already tell.
Can you?
You got color on you. Yeah.
Oh.
Good. Yeah.
Well, I was actually in Maui when the fires started and I had to evacuate. So I got a lot of my sun there.
Oh man, that's a whole nother stream to talk about.
Oh yeah.
But okay. All right. So how have you been?
Exhausted.
Why have you been exhausted?
From being on the picket line as a strike captain to working to campaigning for the elections. I've been doing the most.
I see that you've been doing a lot. Okay, so before I bring up you running for office in the SAG union, what to you has been your kind of like on the line with other people kind of experience and just updates as far as that?
The majority of the time on the picket line is great. There's a lot of community. There's a lot of unity. The one thing that has surprised me is the level of disrespect and rudeness that we as captains get. I've literally had someone get in my face and yell at me.
Really?
And other captains of mine have said they had similar situations. but that's again maybe like 5%, maybe 10%, but the rest of it, it's beautiful. It's people coming together. It's unity and solidarity and feeling that sense of community. Because I think especially as actors, because we don't have the in the room auditions anymore, we're not with our fellow actors sitting in the waiting room. You know, that's how people created friendships, and we don't have that anymore. So like you kind of feel that on the picket line, which is really nice.
Okay, so when you those, you're not talking about other actors being rude to you. You're talking about maybe.
I'm talking
Oh.
about people on the picket line wearing SAG shirts or wearing WGA shirts or wearing solidarity shirts. It is people that are picketing that are rude.
You heard this first here, guys. Latino Slant, Chelsea Rendon, strike captain, getting the heat from other kind of disrespectful. I'm shocker, disrespectful actors. What's going on?
Yeah, and you know, and I will
Why
say,
would they act like that?
My personal experience,
Yeah,
every time it's happened, has been an older white male.
Whoa,
like the times that it's been really aggressive. Now, there's a couple different things about, like, there's people that ignore you, right? Like you're saying something and they ignore you. And I'm like, okay, you're ignoring me. Then you have the people that are like nodding, looking at you, but still ignoring you at the same time and continuing doing what they're doing. And then you have the people that like talk back of like, well, I don't want to, or like, no, or ma. And then there's that small percentage that get very aggressive and very rude and disrespectful of like, you're wrong, or don't tell me what that, or da 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 da. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. And also, even though I'm get a little Mexican at heart, as a strike captain, we are taught to de-escalate. We're not supposed to make anything, you know, bigger than it is. So when this happens, I'm also just shocked because at the beginning I didn't expect it at all when it first happened. But I'm just like, and like I try to look around to see like, did anybody else see that? Am I crazy? And like most of the time there is another strike captain that looks over and is like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know, you know?
Wow. Well, I'm sorry you experienced that. But that's human behavior for you, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because that's probably the last thing you expected or need.
Oh, 100%. And again, for us as strike captains, we're giving up our time. We are volunteering our energy and our time to be there for the 3.5 hours that we're there, when picketers get to come and go as they please. If they get hot, they just leave or whatever, but we are there. So it's just really surprising because at the end of the day, we're meant to keep them safe. That's why we have our vest on, so that cars can see us better. We are trying to stop people from being in the crosswalk after a certain time so they can cross. Because also, on the other side of it, drivers don't give a fuck. We've had so many people run red lights. There was one time specifically that there was an older woman with a walker trying to cross the street. So we knew she was going to take long. And so I literally, I had like 4 or 5 cars in front of me in 3 lanes. And I was trying to go to the cars being like, sorry, please, like, give us a second. You see this old lady with the walker in the crosswalk. And there was this one guy in the car in the front that was just started like screaming stuff, which again, his windows were up, so I couldn't hear it. But it's like, and I'm like, sir, I'm sorry. Like, there's an old lady. What am I supposed to do? He literally revved and moved his car up like 3 inches and hit my sign. And I was like, yo. And then I ended up having like 2 captains come up, and we literally like were in front of the car of like, yo, dude, you can't.
And you were just there so you can wait till this old lady crosses.
Exactly.
None of you guys are stopping traffic to strike.
Yeah. And so it was, so again, we're thinking of these cars. And that's why we have the rules that we do when it comes to
safety.
The street and all that. So that's why I'm like, do people really not get that we are literally there to protect you? Like there was a few people that have gotten hit by cars or gotten bumped by cars over the last few months with the picketing. So it's like we are also learning better as we're going. So it's just really like I don't get it. I am mind boggled about it. But you know, at the end of the day, we are still out there. We're doing this for the union. We're not doing this for the stupid people that are being rude. Like, we are doing it for our people, and that's why we're still out there. That's why I'm still out there.
Sure.
And again, aside from that 5 to 10% of, you know, bad apples, everybody else is really amazing.
So with all that, you are running for office.
Yes.
There it is. It's been an incredible honor to be SAG-AFTRA member for past 22 years. During this time, I've seen the business change a lot, and not all for the best. My experience has given me a great perspective on what our union needs to be fighting to make positive changes that support every performer. I'm very excited for the opportunity to represent my fellow members, to share my passion for our craft, and to establish a new voice on the board. Local candidate number 10. Tell us what's up.
Yes. So I think with this strike happening and with AI being a big factor in residuals, a lot of us actors are really trying to understand what's going on and getting involved a little bit more. And that's what it's been for me. Upfront residuals truly cut me off at the knees for my contract with my show on Stars, and residuals have been dwindling. So I'm just like, okay, what can we do? Or how can I be a part of the solution instead of just complaining or being upset? And that's why I wanted to get involved and try to get on the LA local board. Because I always think, you know, to quote Hamilton, I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. Because that's when you could make a difference and you can like really try to voice and do something. So that's where I'm getting involved. I also think that, you know, a little bit of shade, but I think there's a lot of older members that have been involved that aren't hip to skip with what's going on now and how we are being affected in today's day and age, because it's a lot easier for younger people to understand the changes than it is for older people to go back and learn. So like right now, if you tell a 10-year-old kid to do some stuff on a laptop, he could do it no problem. But if you tell a 60-year-old person, they might have a
Hey, I'm 53, man. Well, I mean, old people are not all bad, but you're talking about how to work and improve your union.
Yes, exactly. But again, people are used to the way it was and not very easy for change. So it's like we have to change. We have to keep up with the world in the sense of, again, AI being a really big issue, new media being new media, which technically needs to go away because new media isn't new media. New media is the same as studios, you know, Netflix and streamers and things like that. That's where I just think I have had a 20-year experience, over 20 years, 23, 22.
22. Hey, you say 22 in your thing.
Yeah, but it might have just passed. That's why I was like, I'm trying to remember when I started exactly. But even then, I've been in the union for 22 years, but I had been acting for about a year and a half before that.
Well, I mean, I think it's great that you're running. It shows that, you know, that you want to get involved more than just your typical, you know, union member, obviously. When is that a whole election thing?
The ballots are due September 2nd. So if SAG-AFTRA members are paid up and in good standing, they would have received the ballot, and then they just have to send it back in by September 2nd. So I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'm like, I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens.
Oh my God. Okay. I got two headlines for you, and I want to get your quick thoughts, and then I want to bring in Tom Konkle. He's been waiting, and I want to get his thoughts. Okay. One Day at a Time star Isabella Gomez leads indie horror film The Mannequin, pick among latest to get a SAG-AFTRA interim agreement. So there are actually movies and TV shows being filmed right now because they got this interim agreement. That is one I want to get your thought on. Another thing is SAG-AFTRA encourages actors to promote at Fall Fest if movies have signed interim agreements. Now, I've been saying, I think one of the things that Blue Beetle has missed is their lead actor, because he could not promote his own film. That everyone loves the Sholo kid, and he wasn't able to. He's with you guys. He stands in solidarity. What do you think of these two headlines? What's your thoughts on these two?
I agree with it. So when you get an interim agreement, that means that the production is agreeing to everything that was left on the table for the last negotiation with the studios. So the 11% bump, the residuals, all of the things that we want.
Mm-hmm.
The interim agreement, if they sign that, they are agreeing to those things, which means when they go to festivals or they're premiering in festivals, if any studio wants to buy them, they have to agree to those terms in order to buy them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the reason why SAG-AFTRA is very keen on it is because this is showing it is possible to meet our ask. It's not unrealistic. Because A24 has done it a lot. A lot of indie projects have done that. They've agreed to it, which is why they're moving forward. So technically, it's very helpful for us. It's very helpful. And I think there was a lot of miscommunication and misinformation at the beginning, because it's like, well, why are they getting a waiver? Well, no, they're not getting a waiver. It's an interim agreement and things are a little messy. But at the end of the day, all of these projects that are moving forward agree to our terms. And whenever they get bought, the studio that buys them has to abide by the terms that they were agreed to.
Gotcha.
So that is benefiting us, because that's what we want at the end of the day. When we get our contract ready with AMPTP, we're going to have all that.
Really fast, TF says Blue Beetle is missing Chelsea Rendon in the cast too, yo.
Thank you. Again,
Thank you.
because I'm on strike, I can't talk about any projects under AMPTP.
That's right. That's right. See, she's good. She's good. We didn't try to trick you there. We weren't trying.
No, but I will say I love the color blue.
All right, let's bring in our other esteemed guest, Triple Threat actor, writer, director. You know him, you love him. He's been on our shows so many times, and back with Chelsea on this panel, Mr. Tom Konkle. ¿Qué pasó, señor?
Hello, how are you, Paulie? Hi, Chelsea.
Hello there. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. You have raised some great points as you were talking there. I agree, Paulie. I think you're right. You know, I'm a real supporter of the unions. Obviously, I'm in all the unions, and I still think that the term waiver was what was really hurting people. It's an interim agreement. And when you say agreement, that really evokes more, we're agreeing in advance as a producer to the terms of the contract that SAG wants and the WGA wants. I'm actually using that myself. I have a project that I'm putting together in Australia, and we're going to apply for an interim agreement to do it. The area where I think SAG can hurry things up a little bit is part of that interim agreement is a casting agreement. And you need to be able to put together casts that are union casts. And if they don't happen fast, you lose your cast and you lose your financing. So they need to stream that. Yeah, you got to streamline that a little bit, because right now it's, lagging a couple months behind, and you lose your cast that way. It slows down a packaging of a project, which has the ripple effect. If I wanted to do something in fall or winter, it might get pushed back into early next year because you have to go through extra steps. There's hurdles that you have to go through to get your paperwork through, with the signatory paperwork. And so it's a great thing, because there is going to be a window where the people that the unions are negotiating with, they don't have new product, and you can slide in there with some indie stuff and give a voice to new talent, new voices in filmmaking, but it needs to happen quickly. And since it's a new thing, the further you kick that thing, as you know, down the road, the harder it's going to be to get it out before this thing is solved.
I mean, if filmmaking wasn't already a challenge, especially independently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like you say, it's always getting people around the hole and pushing them in the hole at the same time. That's always the trick.
Got a fellow filmmaker in the chat, Kenneth Castillo. The interim agreements are a great way to undermine the AMPTP. If the indie film companies can handle the terms, so should the major networks and streamers.
Yep,
Amen.
exactly. And that's why, again, people are talking about like A24 films, and it's like, well, that's kind of like a studio. And it's like, yes, but it's not. But at the end of the day, they are agreeing. They are paying us what we want. They're giving us the residuals that we want. So go do it, make it happen. Because then once the project comes out, we will be seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. The more we agree to it with various people, the more compelling the argument is. Why are you being left behind? Why aren't you agreeing to this? You're absolutely right, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, I have there was a post from Justine Bateman that came on a couple of hours ago.
She's been writing great stuff, by the way, about AI and everything.
Yeah, she's really on point. Here
Yeah.
she says this AMPTP PR campaign is yet more evidence that the studio streamers CEOs value their company's stock price above all else. The new PR is for the stockholders to try to assure them that their money is in good hands. Well, it's not. I'd sell these positions in a second. Wow. What are your thoughts?
Well, if you start treating the people that make your IP like liabilities instead of assets, then the people that are investing in your company start to panic too, because they're going, wait a minute, you're as good as your ideas, as good as your employees, and the employees are, writers, actors, producers, directors. You're saying you don't need them, and yet we're seeing the stocks plummet. We're seeing a general malaise in the industry in general, and I think this is just a seismic shift. It's scaring everybody because, as Chelsea was saying on her platform to run, you don't have to be young to realize everything's different. In 3 years, the business has changed on a fundamental level. Things that were the internet and web series and things, those are all gone. And now, literally, NBC is NBC.com. NBC does a show and they sell it to themselves for $1 on NBC.com, and that's my residual for The Office. I get that all the time. And we need to have a blueprint that fits the shifting sands that we have. And one of the reasons that all of this has come to a head, in my opinion, is we've gone forward with technology without thinking about the moral or social implications of it. But we've also gone ahead with business without thinking about what's the sustainability of the business. If there's none of us left to buy anything they have because we don't have any money and we're not able to make a living, the companies are going to fail because entertainment's a luxury item, and people need to make a living doing it.
Yeah, and honestly, again, it's not like I just worked on a show for NBC and I got my first residual and I was like, oh, it's going to be a good residual. It's network TV. $250.
I know.
And I literally was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not expect that because normally you
Yeah.
work on network, so you get that network money. But
That's right.
because now it airs once on network and then it goes
Yeah.
straight to streaming.
You don't see any of the money that you need to sustain. And like you're an actor like me, the job we have is looking for gigs, and the reward is doing the work. And when you get that money, it's not luxury money. That money you have to live on for the next couple of weeks or months or whatever you have. That's for your training. That's to pay your team. That's to pay your agent. That's to pay your health care, because you are the product. You're the company.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you look at a company, you're like, for the same work, I did this work and I got $10,000 and now I'm getting $200, but I'm doing the same work. That's a red flag.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just, it needs to be a well-oiled machine all the way around. And that's not what's happening. Now these wheels are getting all the grease and these aren't, and therefore it's causing problems. And that needs to be rectified.
I agree. And it's human nature to want to make the most money for the least amount of work and expenditure. That's just human nature. And the reason that unions became important, as we know from history, is you cannot have that kind of capitalism, that kind of corporate mentality, untethered from any responsibility for the people that they're supposed to take care of. Because when you get that big, when you get a company like that, a decision to get rid of someone or a decision to make something passes through so many people now and so many levels. They don't know you. They never have met you. When you lay somebody off, it's someone that you don't know, you've never met. It's numbers. It's like, well, these 7,000 people have been let go from this, and we're letting people go from this show. I've never met them, but Jim upstairs said it was a good idea, and then Maria up above him said, go ahead and cut costs, so they just do it. So the idea of collective bargaining, people seem to think, oh, it's La La Land with the actors and the writers, but they're coming after you next. Whatever job you have out there, the minute AI can replace it, what do you think they're going to do? If you're working at McDonald's and AI can recognize the customer, a robot arm can grab a burger and throw it out the window, you think you're going to have a job? You're not.
No, yeah, it's affecting everybody, and they've already talked about it, like in the automotive space. That now there's the little robots making this stuff, and it's an assembly line, not of people but of machines. So we've already seen that play a factor. And one thing that I find interesting that somebody had mentioned to me before is streamers don't really get the streams and numbers that we think that they do, which is why they don't want to go public, because they got all these investors to invest so much money. And then when they end up looking at their views and it's say 500,000 or 100,000 or 1 million, when they're selling to their shareholders, oh, we got 100 million views on this, on that. And so that's something that, again, I don't know the ins and outs in it. And I was like, but it wouldn't be surprising if that is true, that they're trying to sell it like, oh, yes, we get all these millions and millions of views, when it's not that, but that's how they got the money. And that's why the studios don't want to put out what their actual numbers are. Like, I think it was very
really
interesting.
Idea. Yeah.
Well, it was also really interesting. There was just an article that, well, I guess I'm going to say the titles, but there was an article that was saying that Suits on Netflix now beat Wednesday for number of minutes viewed. And I'm like, I don't even think that's valid, because Wednesday has 1 season. Suits has like 5. I was like, why are you saying that this beat that when this has 5 seasons and this has 1? Like, but technically they just want to say, oh, look, this is the new highest show or whatever.
Suits has, I believe, 8 or 9 seasons actually.
Okay, so they have so many more
9 seasons
on Netflix, and yet they're saying, oh, it beat out Wednesday when they have 1 season. So I'm like, why is this even a topic? Why are you comparing the two? Like, but so again, that goes back into, they just want to say, oh, look, this is a new hot show. Oh, this is the new hot show. When again, the writers for Suits collectively only got paid $3,000 from the sale to Netflix.
Right.
For all of those seasons.
Tom, I'm sure you've heard this in the circles, some of the channels that in regards to we would agree with you at first, but man, you need to drop the woke stuff and make product people actually want to consume.
We got to make a big tent that everybody wants to see, but right now we need the resources to be able to write that stuff, and the problem is the company. I've got plenty of things that this guy wouldn't think is woke. I can't get a pitch because it's not a franchise or a remake, and so it's apples and oranges. Like Chelsea was saying, this thing about if streamers and companies are using it as a loss leader, if that's true, can you imagine they're blaming us, the workers, the people, the artists are taking the blame for a business decision that we should be pointing out to investors. You're investing in something that's a loss leader. It's a business card. They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars on this and holding the numbers to themselves because it's not doing what you think it's doing. And they're pointing the finger at other people going, hey, look, they want money. But what they're doing is obfuscating the fact that they're pointing at us saying we want money because there is no money. So the bigger question is the streaming model working at all? Or should we go back to more of a basic cable thing from the 90s where AVOD, which is advertising based, where you sell it to a commercial or you do it, is that really the more viable way? And that these premium services where I love to have my movies not interrupted. I don't want my TV shows interrupted. As an artist, I want the flow of it. But if that model doesn't work, if it's a money loser, don't blame us who are making it for losing money on it. Why are you
And
spending?
then they're also
$250
putting
million?
now ads. They're putting ads on all the streamers. Now there's the
That's the
cheaper
only way to make
version that
money.
has ads, which is exactly like TV.
It's cable, and it should be paying like cable once it becomes cable. But what they're going to want to say is, oh, no, we want all the advantages of cable, but we don't want to have to pay anybody for it. And
We have a special guest. We have an extra special guest in here who we want to throw him in. I was listening to him earlier. He's a good friend of the channel and of yours, Tom. First time meeting Chelsea, of course, the script doctor.
There
Hi. I'm honored. I wasn't expecting this, but happy to be here.
And I was going to invite you early this morning, but you say here, good to have you here. SAG-AFTRA and Writers Guild need to push for a traditional 20-plus episodic season, not just for longer work, but for more content to distribute across other windows. Explain yourself, sir.
Well, that's one of the things that the WGA is contending with, and rightfully so, is the mini rooms. And the mini rooms are for mini seasons. And actors don't benefit from this. Actors don't benefit from working on a show that's only 6 episodes, that's going to be shot under 6 weeks, or maybe 8 if you're lucky. Actors benefit from having, especially on the TV side of things, actors benefit from having, if they're a principal role on a show, a 22 to 24 episode season is the prize, essentially. It's the thing you want. It's the most stable of all incomes you can get in the industry, in an industry that is designed specifically not to be stable. And it benefits everybody.
I was just going to say that it benefits the actor, the
Yes
writer,
and
director.
no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no, because then now that actor can only work on that one project for the next or however long that show is alive, because then they don't have the time to work on any other thing. So that's where I think as an actor, I appreciated Vida being 3 months because I made good money. I was able to do this thing. I saw the character arc through each season, but then I was able to work on this show and I was able to work on this movie and I was able to do that. And when you think of 20 episode plus, that's 10 months out of the year. Then you have 3 weeks for vacation time in December, 1 week off for Thanksgiving, possibly. So then there's
this is if you're series regular.
You're series regular. Yes.
If you're series regular as an actor, I would want the longer show. That's more guaranteed. That's more guaranteed income, though, Chelsea.
But again, for the actor, it's not just about the money. It's about the craft. I want to be able to play different characters. I want to be able to do an indie movie that I get to be gritty and something while I'm on a procedural, for example. So that's a creative argument sort of thing. Now, mind you, if I get booked on a procedural, I will do that because I love that and I love the money. But I'm also an SVU person and an NCIS person where I'm like, I'll be this and this, like I'm here for it. But the thing about it is keeping up with the times. People don't really watch the 20 episode shows anymore. They want their 10 episode binges that they could binge in a day or two, so that they could get that content. And we've seen that with all the streamers. So that's another thing, because of social media, everybody wants instant gratification. Everybody wants to be able to see it all at one time. So that's where I think the 10 episodes come into play. I agree, 6 is too short. It should be 10 or it should be the 20 of network. But
at least 10, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm like 10 is giving people breathing room, but I just think that it's hard to try to fight for something when that would limit the number of projects being made, because now the budget is ×2 of what they thought it was going to be.
Well, that comes down to the fact that the studios have been misappropriating budgets for the last 8 to 10 years on shows anyways. They've been far more expensive than they have to. When it comes down to what you said with regards to a series regular working 10 months out of the year, that's a scheduling issue. I mean, a properly done procedural, whether it's an hour long or properly done sitcom, you're looking between 6 and 8 days per episode. And if it's done on time and on budget with a competent crew, that still affords actors, especially in the principal roles, enough time to start working on a project in the in-between. I mean, I don't know many actors that want to actually take a long break between gigs, especially if they want to expand on their craft. I mean, if you get a landing role, if you're a younger actor, and I'm not saying, Chelsea, you are a young woman, but you've been doing this for over 20 years, so you have a great deal of experience. But I have encountered a lot of younger actors that ended up getting very, very popular with the role that they have, but also getting very kind of
Pigeonhole.
resentful of that role because that's all that they're recognized for. But it's not until another 10 years pass that they actually become grateful for that again, because they realize, that's kind of like the best it was for me, and I really shouldn't have been so resentful in those interim times. And that's the hardest lesson for any experienced actor to learn, especially a brand new one. And the idea that you're an actor, yes, you want to act a whole lot of different roles, but the harshest reality that I have found as a writer dealing with actors is that sometimes you're lucky if you just get one. Just get one that you're memorized for. And when you do that, you should be grateful, because not everybody's going to be William Shatner, who's recognized as TJ Hooker, as Captain Kirk, as Denny Crane. You're not going to be getting that. It's few and far between for those people. So whatever you get, you should be, of course, grateful, but you should never also stop trying to get other roles. You should never also stop trying to expand your craft.
Yeah.
But the other
and
part
again, that also
you have to find a way to reconcile that with the industry and the scheduling and the budgets.
But again, I'm also not saying to be recognized for all these things, but it's as an actor to be able to be creative and get to play in this world and play in this world and play in that world. And maybe you are only known for your series regular on this show for 5 seasons, but you get to play and you get to do the thing that we love. I think that's a thing with people, especially now, because of social media and because of Insta hoes and things like that, where people look at it for the fame and not for the craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to push myself as an artist. I want to be able, like, my dream role is to play a serial killer who's a housewife that's like cooking dinner for her kids, putting them to bed, smiles, and then she goes to her basement. She's a killer bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and expand on every skill that you trained for up until this point, right? Like, you don't want to be working on a skill and be like, okay, I have this great skill where I know how to, like, say you want to do your female mother serial killer thing. So she's an expert with a knife. It's like, I've trained to be this expert at a knife. Now it's like, I'm never getting a role where I'm an expert at this knife. You're like that. You feel like you wasted your time on that, justifiably so. And yeah, an actor goes through this training to learn these extra skills, to expand their ability to be more versatile, to be basically molded into whatever role that they can win, and fit into the imagination of the writer or director or producer, what have you. And if they ever, and only a few of them out of like the thousands of actors that are out there are lucky enough to really be able to showcase that versatility. And that's the other part too. It's like,
let me get
how
in
many
on
roles
here.
can we have? Go ahead.
Script doctor, Tom Konkle, Chelsea Rendon. You're not going to get a finer talk on this subject. Writer strike, SAG strike. Thank you guys here on the panel for giving us your time. We got the chat going on. I just wanted to kind of like, and anyone that just dropped in right now, thank you guys. We got a bunch of people live in the chat. Let's talk movies really quickly. This past weekend, guys, was National Cinema Day, and in the States, 8.5 million tickets were sold on Sunday. 34 million bucks gross. Last year was 8 million.
That's good.
What does that tell me? If you let me just throw this in. If it's a $4 ticket, granted that's real cheap nowadays, but if you make a cheaper ticket, people are gonna come and look at all these movies they saw. That's amazing. Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the exactly. It's the old thing of if you lower the price, people will come. You're trying to rake it in that first week or two with these premium tickets, which is fine for the premium experience. But see, if you do a tiered system like this and you make it affordable, where a family can come out $4 a ticket, you will get volume. Because one of the reasons that movies were the only game in town, the 20s, 30s, 40s, or whatever, and it was 25 cents a ticket. I understand inflation; it needs to be more expensive. But this is proof that when you build an ecosystem where people want to come to the movies again, they want to do it, and it's an affordable price, they will make a choice to make an event out of it. But people don't have a lot of disposable money. So if you look at it and you're like, you know what, this is a $40 decision, not a $100 decision, they'll be more likely to go. And one thing I did want to jump in, because the discussion was really interesting about streaming, just to circle back to that before my brain leaves on that. 2 things. The 22 episode idea is a good one, I think, because the most likely you're going to get a job is a guest star, and the more you have to have a system in place where you're not reinventing the wheel after 8 episodes and creating a new show, you get that churn of actors having an opportunity to do guest stars. So that is an advantage to having a longer show, and we're more likely to book a guest star than it's rare to get, a series regular. If you get a series regular, great, hang on to it. And the other thing I was going to say is I think we should eliminate the ability to binge watch first run, because if you had a 22 episode run and one dropped every week, it would guarantee a subscriber for 22 weeks would keep coming back and seeing the show. We can binge watch it after all of them have dropped, but that means you've had a subscriber for a couple of months commit to the platform and get used to the platform. The mistake that they're making is binge watching became a thing, and so they would drop a whole show. People would watch it, churn through it on Monday to Friday, and they drop the service. And so it became a loss leader again. So if we eliminated that and made people wait, I mean, for God's sake, wait a week. Think about the episode you did. Don't know the resolution of the characters. Also, that spreads out the production time so you can hire more people. You don't have the crunch where you're like, we got to shoot this thing in 5 weeks and drop all 8 of them. You could have a guest star, more guest stars per episode, because your production schedule is over a longer period of time. So
you're also amortizing those. You're amortizing those costs, and also recently, with regards to the Suits article that came out a few days ago, the data has been revealed that television shows with a longer episodic run, and a longer season run do better on streaming services than the short episode series. So to your point, Tom, it actually goes back to if they want to binge Suits, and there's like over 7 seasons of that, it's going to take them more than a month to do that, which means you guaranteed 2 months of subscription at the bare minimum compared to the
unless you're me. Unless you're me. I started watching NCIS on Netflix again from the beginning, and I'm on season 17 now on Paramount Plus. And I think it's only been 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chelsea definitely represents the young demographic watcher.
I truly agree with Tom. If they take the binging aspect out, it's smarter money for them. Like,
and it's longer advertising of the show.
Because then you have that. Like, honestly, watching Succession on a weekly basis was such a whoa. Yeah. We're all going through with this. And then you're talking about it with friends. Wait, you haven't seen it? Oh no, you got to watch. Oh man, what did happen? Did you see that wonder that they did? Like, all that lived up until the next episode, and then the next episode. So it's like I'm in the middle of the two worlds. I love being able to be like right now. I'm just rewatching all of NCIS because I missed the last like 5 seasons or so. Right. I'm like, let me just start at the beginning, right?
You don't want to miss anything.
But see, that already dropped. That's okay to binge watch. That's cool. Yeah. But I think we're so into instant gratification. Now I'm sounding like the old man yelling at clouds, but it's true. We're so into that we can't take 5 days to talk about what we think's going to happen, talk about what we experienced, talk about the arc. We have to know the same day how everything ends and how every character winds up. Well, that's a movie. That's why you go see a movie, not a TV show.
Yes. Yeah, you're talking about we've sacrificed the social commentary and the social advertisement of a television show for the sake of the convenience of the binge model. I mean, I was a big fan of the Santa Clarita Diet over on Netflix because it was a really clever show and different take on zombification, but it only got 3 seasons, and because there were binged episodes that you could watch, you kind of forgot about it after the season. And then there's the other aspect too. When you binge a show and you drop all episodes in on one day, the elapsed time between the time it dropped and the time the next season comes out, it's no longer a short period of, say, a summer season. It's almost a full year, and people forget stuff. Like you get your series finale in the spring, and then you get your second season follow-up in the fall. You only have the summer to either catch up or do whatever you want, but then it's a shorter time where you don't have a chance of forgetting that show when it comes back in the fall, especially if that last episode ends on a cliffhanger, which ideally you want to do if you got a guaranteed follow-up season.
Exactly. And as somebody who's written a series, I'll say this script, as a writer-director, most shows don't find their voice and hit their stride in the first or second season. I mean, go all the way back. Hill Street Blues, Cheers, all those shows.
Barney Miller.
The best episodes were not the first episodes of the first season. And look, I mean, Star Trek, for me, Next Generation hit its stride in the 3rd or 4th season, having done, the long episode orders of it. You have to give time for it to ferment. Like, I didn't find the voice. I didn't find the the intangible thing that it clicked in and worked until the second or third season when you're doing it, because you're listening to the voices of the character, you're seeing who got cast. If you're out of the gate is 8 episodes and that's it, and we see so many of these shows canceled because you're judged on that first season. Out the gate, the pilot, the first 2 episodes aren't great, I'm out. And it's like, look at every show we consider classic now. Watch the first or second season of it. It's not that good.
Let me let's hit through some of these comments, and then you guys hit back with your reactions, okay? Troy Pacelli, there needs to be transparency, not only for the unions, but for the advertisers and investors.
Yes.
Troy.
Yeah.
Advertisers save great shows because audiences are watching them and advertisers want to sell their ads there. And the other part too is if a bad show's on, yeah, okay, it's bad, it sucks, it gets canceled, but the people that were shined in those episodes, they'll find other work, especially if there's something to replace that canceled show with. If you keep a canceled show on and hide the numbers, or sorry, if you keep a bad show on and hide the numbers so it doesn't get canceled, you might end up creating some resentment with the audience. You're like, why is this piece of crap still on? I hate it. I'm now starting to hate the talent involved because I hate the rest of the show so much. And that's not good for anyone's career.
That's not good. No, that's not good. The Shooter, in 1991, script doctor SAG took away the paycheck that everyone wants. Ed Asher sued the directors of SAG and lost.
Yeah, it's all.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
yeah.
There was a lawsuit that was brought by Ed Asner, which unfortunately he passed.
Oh, Ed Asner. Sorry.
Oh, Asner. Okay.
Yeah, it's Ed Asner.
I didn't know that.
He's raising a point about that in the healthcare issue. Absolutely. But yeah, the exception's not the rule. I see in the chat people are saying, "Oh, this Miami Vice or anything." You're right, but the exception isn't the rule. And as a creative person, I want that time to sort of percolate and ferment and work with people to find the voice of a show, because I feel like they hit their stride in the middle. A movie out of the gate's got to be tight. It's got to work. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. But a show, when you're pitching it, it's to show the potential for stories, not the beginning, middle, and end.
That's why I envy the crews on television shows. The crews on television shows are amazing. They figure out exactly how to shoot and how to organize stuff on the set within 6 episodes.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing that blows my mind. It's like I'm still figuring out the characters as I write them and making sure the direction of the voice. Yeah. And here I'm talking to the best boy who's like, oh yeah, we just got this organized all set. We know exactly what to do the minute things are ready to go. It's like son of a.
Their art form is a little more structured that way, where they can do that, be ready for you and be ready for changes. English Batcher, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, 20 plus. Was a real commitment, but an investment and so much background character stuff. 10 of Game of Thrones always felt too short and awful. As it turned out, Suits, arg.
It's a lot to unpack there.
It's a lot to unpack. Anyone, go ahead.
The commitment of the arc, and I'll throw it out to anybody else, but Breaking Bad was treated like a very long film character study, and it began to find its voice, but it's a slow burn. And Game of Thrones, it was they shortened the episodes. You're not constricted by time, but also they kind of ran out of book and went off the rails with it. So people are willing to sit with something, and you don't need that kind of dump where it's like, here's Game of Thrones, all of it, there it is. We ran out of ideas, but it's done, and we're gonna binge watch it. You have to find a balance, and I think actors want this too. Where, yes, like Chelsea, you want to play as many things as you can, and you're most likely to do that as a guest star or do a couple of films or do stuff like that. But if you can lock in a series regular, that's money, and that gets your recognition up, because you can always migrate from that show to film or something else.
Oh, yeah, and your quote goes up too as well, especially the more work that you do.
People don't really respect quotes anymore, though.
Which bothers me, because it's like you earned your quote. And it's like if I'm an executive producer on a show that I want, and I'm like, I want Chelsea on there, and she's like, and this is her quote. I'm like, okay, now I have to write an episode to allow for that budget to get Chelsea on there, because I have something for her to make. That's the relationship you have with talent and production. Yeah. And for some reason, and granted, they've been doing this for 25 years minimum. They've always been trying to undercut the quotes of an actor for whatever reason.
Well, no, I think it's been the last 7 to 5 years where officially it's like quotes don't matter. It doesn't matter what your quote is. This is the rate. This is top of show. We're not breaking top of show. No, this is our budget. You're not. You know what I mean? So
you're right.
That's a sad thing.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing recently. I remember when I was starting out, like 06, 07, they would be like, well, this is their quote, but this is our budget. And we know that they want to be on the show. So now we can negotiate to get less than the quote. And sometimes the actors would do it, especially if there's a friend involved in the production. But that's usually what the angle I remember witnessing is like, yeah, we can undercut them a little bit, maybe 10% off or something of that nature. And you're like, now they just said, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. And you're like, no, that defeats the whole purpose, because the whole idea is that the more work you do, the quote goes up. Especially if there's always a positive reception with regards to this actor guest starring on a show or what have you, however their popularity and their fan base comes to wherever they go. And it's like, now they're trying to do the very thing that Anthony Mackie commented on a few years back, which is it's no longer about the actor being a draw for the audience to come see them. It's now the IP or the role that they're playing that they want to see more. They care more about James Bond than Pierce Brosnan playing James Bond or Sean Connery playing James Bond anymore. And that's the inverse, I think, is hurting the industry, because it's treating the talent as more disposable than the fact that they're the ones that are bringing life to the characters that guys like myself and Tom create.
Well, it's also why there's no more movie stars anymore. I think Leo DiCaprio is technically the last movie star, but we don't have that anymore. But
and how much of is he a draw these days?
I also wanted to circle back to the Game of Thrones thing, because I was late to Game of Thrones. I ended up binge watching everything as the final season was airing. So the last few episodes I actually saw like at the right time. But I don't read the books. I don't know anything about it. But the funny thing for me was that everybody's like, they ruined Khaleesi. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just watched 2 weeks ago of her literally saying over and over that she was going to burn the town to the ground. And then you guys are surprised that she burned the town to the ground. I'm like, maybe y'all need to rewatch it, because she says it a bunch of times.
That goes to this from Deano. Thank you for the €5, I believe. Shows like House of Dragons prove people are willing to watch weekly. Also, how long before streamers change from monthly to yearly to stop churn? We loved that House of Dragons first season, that weekly, like you said, the couple of days around the water cooler. I mean, that's everything. That's everything. So yeah, thoughts, guys?
Yeah, no, enjoy it. And the thing about quotes, I was the lead in a movie. I did this movie, Noise in the Middle, and literally everything after it for guest stars was like basic scale, nothing above. Same thing happened with commercials. They used to put a little $ next to you because I did more than 100 commercials. Those $ went away, and now it's just basic scale, doesn't matter. They don't want to pay, and they don't value who is in it. Now, I'm not any kind of name or anything. I can only imagine seeing your price plummet, when you actually brought something to the table of recognizability to it. And yeah, House of Dragons, a terrific show. It was kind of workshopped through Game of Thrones, which is why it feels more refined, in my opinion. But you're absolutely right, Paulie. It's everything between the episodes. Ruminate on it. It's almost like reading a book and thinking about it. It's like, now if you chug through something and you find out how everything turned out and how everything is, you don't have the same experience as you would have if over time you evolved with these people and they came into your living room every week. They become more part of your narrative and your life that way. And that was the power of television.
Well, I think of what Chelsea said too. I think, with the dawn of social media, we've kind of killed that communal in-person experience, whether it's at work or at school or hanging out. It's like, oh, did you see last night's show? It's just all on social media now.
It's instant. Yeah.
It's instant.
As for how long the streamers will change from monthly to yearly,
go ahead.
It would be foolish for them to do that. It's basically like what Rarity do. The only premium cable channel that I think that ever had a yearly subscription that I can recall was HBO back in the day. You could get that yearly if you wanted to. I remember. I don't remember I don't remember getting that for Showtime. So yeah, and that's just because HBO became HBO. They spent years to build that reputation to be that. For streaming, and I've mentioned this years ago, and it's especially on this channel as well, streaming is basically just network television on demand. The model exists, it works. The convenience is the fact that you don't have to fight for time slots. Now, this is also a nice benefit too for actors and writers as well, because you're no longer on a show competing for the 9 p.m. Thursday night primetime time slot. It doesn't matter. The thing is that as soon as it drops, you will get the same audience who might be interested in both shows. They don't no longer have to choose which one to watch at that slot. They can be like, oh, we got Friends at 9 and we got Mike and Molly at 9 as well. I don't have to pick which one I want to watch at 9 because it's on demand. It's at my schedule. Or maybe I want to watch it an hour earlier. Maybe I want to watch it tomorrow. Either way, you're getting the view. And if it's still based on an advertisement model and you're getting, say, the traditional Nielsen views, which is what we should be trying to get back to, is in the double digits, the 10, 11, 14 million people watching your show. That makes it very lucrative for the show, very lucrative for advertisers, very lucrative for everybody that gets residuals on that show. And because it's at the convenience of the customer, you actually have less competition in regards to the time slot. And now it's just competition of what show is going to be better. And now you realize, oh man, I have this really great show, but it's up against, this Paramount Goliath of Friends. We're never going to survive. Now that's gone. And now it's like, okay, we can survive because we don't have to worry about people having to make that tough choice. All we have to worry about is that they find us. And once they find us, and if we're good, we've got them hooked for as long as we can keep on delivering the goods. And I think that's a better model for the industry, because the good shows that we've probably all worked on or have watched before that were canceled because they were broadcast on a bad time slot, like the Friday Night Killer or the Saturday Night Killer window, but they were really good because they just felt that was the best competitive window they could air it on. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So some really great shows that we have lost through scheduling in the 90s and 80s and prior won't have that effect with the streaming model. That's based on a network residual, network advertised based system, and that's better for everyone. That means that there's less turnover with regards to really great shows, and the bad stuff gets flushed out quicker so that more good stuff can come to the surface.
Yeah, that's a great point. I forgot about that because I've had back in the 90s, early 90s, I had 2 shows that were up against Friends that I was in, and they just bombed because it was up against Friends. And then I did Spy TV. I was on that show for 2 seasons, and the lead-in was Friends. And all of a sudden, everyone's watching the show because it came on after Friends. And it's like, you don't have that competition now where, I mean, we were just talking about Star Trek. The original Star Trek got canceled because they put it in the death slot. They put it on Friday night, Saturday night. Everybody's going out, doing something. They're not watching TV. It killed it. So that's a great point. I hadn't remembered that. But yeah, it really hurt me as an actor.
Horseradish Power is a member of the channel. Comes in with €2, 13 episodes per season. Works here in the UK.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Horseradish. And Shanatsky, who's been a member of the channel for 21 months. I'm sick of people with everything telling those who have nothing to make a sacrifice for the greater good. Their good is what matters to them most.
Good point. Bob
Well,
Iger.
this is one of the. Not only is this the first time in over 60 years that SAG and WGA have been on strike, but it's also the first time I can think of with the Writers Guild where they're actually trying to make up for all the bad negotiations they've done previously, and at the same time get ahead of the stuff that could be coming in the next few years to try and make sure that they have a better playing field for the next set of negotiations. And I've also been very happy to see that SAG's doing the same thing, especially when it comes to licensing imaging rights of actors and background actors, because I mean, I think the individual actors, if they want to say, yes, I will scan myself, but I'm the one who's in control of where it goes and how much I get for every use. And you don't get to buy it and use it in perpetuity. It's like, no, you can scan me and I own my scan. And if you want to put me as a guy that gets killed on the battlefield in Valhalla in whatever year, you have to pay me for that. And if you try to take that scan and use it in another film, I'm going to sue you because we didn't make a deal for that film. That would be the best case scenario in that regard, even though I still think it's bad because I like the idea of physical actors being on set.
Yeah,
it's a completely different experience. But I think that's the AMPTP doesn't understand that they have trained us to be broke. They have trained us to go months without work. So we have prepped for this almost like it's a marathon, and we've been running for the last 5 years, getting
Wow.
ready for this marathon. And they're the ones that are in the weaker position because they're used to their money. They're used to their bonuses. So once that's going to start being a problem, they're going to panic. Not us. We've been used to this shit. Like, you know, and that's why I think both WGA and SAG-AFTRA are digging their heels in, because it's like, no, we know that this is going to make or break our livelihoods for the future. And that's why we cannot bend. Like, if we bend, then we're pretty much writing the death certificate to the industry and to ourselves as artists. If we say,
to the
yeah,
rest of
go
the
ahead and
state.
let AI do stuff.
And to the rest of the state. How many industries in California depend on Hollywood still making product? There's laundry, there's food, there's transportation. They're all dependent on the economy that comes out of Hollywood productions. And if that's all replaced by AI, all those businesses are going to suffer as well.
And again, goes back to my first point. We haven't thought about the ramifications. We just went ahead and did it.
So we've had a poll going on in the chat. How long do you think? How much longer will the strike last? Well, we're gonna say both strikes. 2 months, 4 months, next year. Next year's leading with 57%. 2 months, 23. 4 months, 21. Got 97 votes in. Thank you guys for voting. I honestly hope everyone is wrong and this gets wrapped up in the next couple of weeks.
Me too, man.
Because I'm going to use this as an example, and you guys can share. But you know, Romy is she's like probably not going to get my SAG health insurance renewed next year because of what's going on. You know, and this is gonna be
most of us aren't.
Right.
I know I won't.
I'll lose mine. I'm definitely losing mine if I'm not able to work.
So this is a big risk, a real risk that you guys have taken. Any thoughts on that?
Realistically, like, I'm a hopeful person and I'm optimistic. So I was like, yo, we're going to get it done by Labor Day. Like, we have to, in order for 13 episode seasons to exist, that needs to happen. But the way that it's looking, it is going to go until December, because at this point, they're not going to get their 13 episode seasons for their network shows. So now they're pretty much just going to call it a wash and then wait to do the next season next year. Like, so realistically, I don't think it ends before December. Like, I'm hopeful that it can, but realistically, the way that it's looking, yeah, it's going to be for the rest of the year.
And that'll be devastating, because they look at the window of the year before for your health care and those, earnings that you put in, your pension and all of that. So you'll have this huge, what is it, 8 months now, almost 9 month hole where there won't be, everybody's going to get dropped. I mean, unless they do some kind of measure, how are you going to make the minimum?
Exactly. And that's one of the things, like, because it's both strikes right now, it is probably going to go on longer. I mean, even if the WGA manages to land a deal sometime in September, it's now up to the MPTB to say, okay, SAG, let's come back to the table. And if they're going to pull the same tactics that they did with the WGA, they will probably try to drag that out for months, or, I mean, not months, maybe weeks, before they'll actually say, okay, SAG, we're ready to actually talk to you again. And that's what could actually lead this thing down to December, which means that even with if the actors are on strike, everybody else is still out of work. Like, yeah, you could get development deals and stuff started up, but that's not the same, because who's going to shoot it? Or, like, who are you going to shoot? Right?
Who's going to shoot it? You're right, Script. And like, okay, the director settled. What are you going to direct?
Yeah, and if the writers get settled, it's like, okay, you can write stuff, but who's going to perform it? I mean, you still have that thing there. Now, the only win we can hope for is that the WGA gets enough movement with regards to AI and how the residual structure goes, so that the SAG-AFTRA can be like, okay, that's deals closest to what we want to do. Now let's negotiate, and that is our metric. Now this is our foundation, where we're starting from. And if it's a little too shy here for the actors, hopefully they can negotiate to get it over the hump so that it becomes something that's beneficial and useful. The question being is that, are the studio heads, by way of the MPTP, going to take their heads out of their own butts and realize that you cannot just you cannot sustain your own industry by buying foreign content and then redistributing it on your own platforms, because it's eventually going to burn out, especially if the reputation of some of your studios and streaming services are so bad that people don't even want to watch you to begin with.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great point. I couldn't have said it better. I agree with you, Chelsea, and Script. It's probably going to go on longer than it's viable for us to do, but we have to survive it because there won't be anything to come back to if we don't. And that's just the reality. And anyone that thinks this is an actor problem or a writer problem, this fight is being fought now. What robots did to blue collar jobs, AI and streaming is doing to the arts and white collar jobs, and now the people we're negotiating with, it's coming after them next. The AI CEO, the completely automated corporate boardroom, the AI reliant product development. All of that is going to eliminate everybody's job, and who's going to buy anything?
Mhm.
It's going to be owned by big tech, and that's the other part too. That's big tech is the Trojan horse. Do we really want big tech running our entertainment? I mean, name something big tech has done that's actually made life greater for everybody. I mean,
And look how they treat people that make video games. It's a slash and burn.
Yeah.
You make Call of Duty, you program it, you do the graphics, they fire you so they don't have to pay you after they make $50 million the first week. That's their way of. They don't allow unionizing.
Let me just throw this at you. This is interesting. How about make the top 5%, I assume, of the actors and writers support the lower 95 during the strike? See how long it lasts.
That's
Well,
what
there
they're
are
doing.
funds.
There are
They are.
multiple A-listers that have donated 7 figures to the SAG-AFTRA Foundation so that actors that are in a hard time can apply for grants and money to cover their bills. So, like, not everyone, but there is plenty of money that was recently donated, 7 figures from
The Rock.
The Rock, Julia Roberts, George Clooney and Amal, I believe. Like, so there are those A-listers that have donated that are helping, which I'm literally getting ready to submit my claim next month for some of that money.
You're going to have to.
same thing-
Everybody is.
Yeah,
Good
the
for
same
you.
thing is also with the WGA. There's an assistant fund that's been around since like the late 1800s. That's still into effect today that people can draw from.
But
and it's
the
not
only
the same
question-
as like redistribution, but it's helpful.
Because it's from my again, I'm not WGA, but from my knowledge, it's a loan. It's not like here's money, right?
It depends on which type of qualification you go for, but there's ones that are loans, and there's one that's a part of a grant that is to help you out specifically because you're writing and doing those types of things. I've never had to apply to it. I don't qualify just because I'm currently located in Canada at the moment. That's just because there's a pandemic and I couldn't travel until just recently. And by the time they lifted that travel, the darn strike happened. So I'm like, what's the point in going to freaking California to pitch for stuff if I
know.
can't do
Script,
anything?
You and I were planning on stuff. Yeah.
But no, there are funds there. And the other part too is like, it's very gracious of the people that, they have their own production companies. They have access to millions of dollars and they're able to donate that to help support the rest of us. And that's very much appreciative. But part of the other part too, and I think this is a fair thing to ask with regards to the board of directors of the studios, is that, hey, if the people that are in charge of the studios are letting this strike perpetuate, maybe they should have a penalty for that as well. Like boards are saying, you don't get paid until the strike's resolved. I'm pretty sure that will light a fire under the studio heads or anyone in the industry that's deciding, yeah, we're going to let this drag out, because regardless of the situations that happened during the previous actor strike or the previous WGA strike, one thing that has been consistent is that the stockholders, the investors of the studios, are constantly on the butts of the studio heads to say, hey, you're costing us money, get a deal made, because that's how they want those dividends. They want their stocks to grow. They want the product out there so that they themselves can take advantage of that. And that doesn't happen if they're not making anything.
Great point. Great point.
You got time for one more, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Deleted Scenes, who's a member of the channel. The studios are playing hardball, but they're shooting themselves in the feet at the same time. Everyone won't get what they want. What do you think?
100%. Like we're fighting hard for what we want, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a ripple effect. Maybe we'll get the protection of AI. Maybe we'll get the protection of this or that, or the pay bump that we want. But then now because there's less episodes, then less actors get jobs, or they're going to cut these shows that were going to get syndicated, but now they're not because they want to save that money, or whatever it may be. So at the end of the day, we're all going to have to pay in some way. One of my friends, and Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of my friends mentioned as a writer that after the last writer's strike, that they ended up taking away ways that you got paid. So technically, like when you did a draft, you got like 3 different levels of it. But now it's like, nope, you only get paid once and you get one draft.
Correct.
So we're all going to have to pay in some way. You know what I mean? But the benefit would be that we get the things that we absolutely need. The protection with AI, the bump in general of pay, the residuals in general, so that we can have a livelihood, period. Because again, all of these things really affect the working class actor that is the guest star, that is the supporting, because the people that get paid above scale, it doesn't really matter to them. You know what I mean? Like, it's for the line people that it truly makes a difference on whether they can get their insurance or whether they can pay their rent. Like, again, I said this before last time, I'm 30 years old and this is the first time I've had to get a day job because now I cannot provide for myself with just acting because of the pandemic, because of age range things. And there's a lot of different factors to it, but I've never been in this position before. And again, it comes back into residuals. I remember getting a 20,000 residual from a movie that I was in, like, yes. And like now, literally a network show and I got $250. I was literally like, wow.
And you got to live on that.
What happened to the rest of the zeros? Like,
exactly. Well, you know what these corporations are doing? If I can offer this, Paulie, there's a thing. These companies, in these tech companies, corporations, they are drinking poison, hoping that the other person dies. And what I mean by that is they are poisoning their own ecosystem, their own sustainability, their own content, and saying, no, we're going to get ours, we're going to do it. But they're hoping to kill us off and bring us in line. It's like, you'll accept what we give you kind of attitude. But they're the ones drinking the poison, because what they don't realize is everything that we're fighting for is coming after them next.
Timing of that and this, they're gonna wait you out, man. Those rich people sleeping on huge piles of money every day, every night, don't care.
They're spending more than the average actor writer that's striking right now.
Their investors care.
Exactly, it's investors, and their $3 million bonuses that they're used to every year is not going to happen. But again, that's what I'm also saying. What if they want the secrecy so that they can keep getting those bonuses when they're technically not worth that amount? You know what I mean? Like,
leader, you're right.
So there's a lot of things at play, and I'm like, but at the end of the day, we are used to eating ramen and eggs at home and cup of noodles and tortillas. So
$3 bag of rice.
They're not used to not being able to be on their yacht or to have to sell one of their yachts. What? I have to sell a yacht? So we're used to hustling and struggling. They're not. So,
well, you know what? There's enough abundance. We can all get a little richer. Everybody in everybody's job should participate and be enrolled in the enrichment of what they're doing. And no, I'm not talking about communism where everyone is paid equally. What I'm talking about is if something does well, if you're working for somebody or you started a business and it's providing a service, if it's entertaining someone, if it's making their life better, everyone, all boats rise. And everyone should materially participate. As a culture, we have to eliminate the idea of unlimited profit every single year, no matter what. If you're making $4 billion a year, just make that. It's not a news headline to go, you're only going to make $4.1 billion this year. There's something wrong. No, you made $4 billion. And everyone participating is the sustainable capitalism we're talking about. Yes, we all want to get rich. We all want to make money, and we all deserve an opportunity to have that outcome. What we don't need is someone saying profit is slashing jobs. Like, okay, Disney's not profitable. Let's kill 12,000 jobs. Okay, now we're in profit. No, those people are what made you have money. That's if you create Pirates of the Caribbean, you don't end up getting fired after it comes out because you don't want to get paid. we don't want to pay you, but thank you for making $1 billion for us. And that happened to a friend of mine who was like the head of the visual effects for it. He had to move to another country to find a job, and that movie made $1 billion, and they got rid of him so they wouldn't have to pay him.
And it goes into one of the talking points that's kind of a flaw, not with all the people that are on strike, but with some of them, especially some of the latter ones, which is that they're hating the rich for being rich when you're not supposed. What you should really be doing is hating the companies for being frugal. That's what it is. They're being frugal. We love the fact that they're making lots of money. Why? Because they have to spend that on us to make more product, to make more money. But if they're not going to spend that money, it's not going to help anybody. They're going to have less content to make. They're going to have less things to sell. It's like, to your point, Tom, you do not slash jobs in order to be profitable. What you do is you try to source, why are we not making money, and where can we find out, where can we reallocate our spending so that we start making more money? It's the frugal nature of the thing. It's the fact, yes, okay, Bob Iger makes $25 million a year. Well, the board determined that he should be making $25 million a year. Great. What's he spending all of the company's money on? AI? Well, that's not going to help make him have more $25 million a year in the future, but it's going to actually cripple the company. It's going to replace the very staff that he's making money off of. It's
Chelsea has to go, Script Doctor.
Sorry.
Let's let her exit.
Absolutely.
And plug anything that you would like to plug, my friend.
I just plug everybody. I'm like, watch the stuff that's out there so that they can continue being able to make the project. I love the color blue. I plan to see more blue, and I hope to see more blue.
You're so silly. And you're
so again, I really hope that I get to get this seat on the board so I could be actively a part of the solution and being able to see what I can do now, being in the room where it happens. And thanks for having me on.
I think it's great that you're running for office. I mean, that's fantastic for that position.
Thank you.
Chelsea Rendon on Twitter, on Instagram, and she's got some other stuff there. Help and support her. And Chelsea,
I know I forgot about what's that word called again? The
Patreon. You actually have a Patreon.
I have a Patreon. I put 2 things out there so far, but I gotta do more. But it's just been, like I said, I survived getting out of Maui during the fires, came back, we had a freaking hurricane here. So I'm like trying to do this campaigning while picketing and having people yell in my face. So it's been a month.
That's wow. Well, we're happy you came by.
I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for having me on, Paulie. It's always a good time.
Yep.
And until next time.
Until next time.
I'm sorry.
There she goes. There she goes. Bye, sweetie. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Chelsea.
All right, gents.
Yeah. Hey, with the decision making of Bob Iger, this Galaxy Edge Star Wars attraction seems really promising. I hope that the money we spend on that works out.
Oh yeah, the hotel's been shuttered.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a great decision there for $26 million.
We do have a question for Tom from Visinger. How does he feel about motion comics, and paper theater being used for filmmaking?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, paper theater takes you back to the earliest stages of filmmaking. It's such a great tradition to puppetry and creating motion comics is really I think it's a great way to make films if you want a direct conduit. If you want to eliminate the filters you have to go through and get your vision out pure, animation and motion comics and paper theater give you a real direct, almost one-to-one relationship with the audience. It's what you put out there is what you mean to put out there. You can control the look of the characters. If you have the skill set to do the animation or the paper theater, I think it's terrific. The medium can be transcended. Script and I were talking about this. If something's good, it transcends its medium. You can not have the biggest budget in the world, but if you have great ideas and your execution is there, no one goes, oh, I would have liked this, but how much did it cost? So I think it's great if you have an idea that is appropriate for that platform, go for it. All filmmaking is conveying a story and characters and getting someone to feel something. So if you can make them feel something in motion comics and paper theater, that is filmmaking. You shouldn't be snobby about it.
Script doctor, any thoughts?
I think it's great. Any outlet you can do to try and tell your story. And here's the other part too. With motion comics and paper theater for filmmaking, it's a lot cheaper now to do that as a one-person event at a one-person endeavor than it has been before. I mean, in the days where you had to buy film is expensive, but now you can do it all digitally. You can do it with your phone. And I would always say start small and learn the basics, and then build yourself up with every new attempt, because that's how you develop those skills. I'm a big fan of independent short films, preferably not of existing IP. Just make up your own.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
them out there. Show how talented you are,
Mhm.
and keep on trying it. And remember, when you're doing a production, whether it be motion comics, paper theater, or live action, especially on the independent side of things, you have to really vet the people that you work with, because the excitement vanishes the moment you wrap principal photography, and then you get
correct.
into post. And post is literally you're watching the same thing every day over and over for weeks on end. You get sick and tired of it. You doubt things. You have to sort of clean. People want to leave and get out, especially on the independent side of things, where they're either making no money or making very little money doing it. So I strongly advise, if you are interested in getting into independent film and starting with short films, either do every job yourself if you can, just so you can make sure you get it completed, or if you are going to hire people or work with people, make sure that they will stick with you to the end, because a lot of them will want to jump ship the moment the excitement and the pizzazz starts to fade.
That is so true. And aren't you doing a comic script? Aren't you? You're doing in the process.
I'm
of doing
a
comic?
story editor on a number of comics right now,
Nice.
and soon we'll be able to start announcing those sales, whether they're pre-orders or campaigns. The creators have not informed me. I'm just the guy that makes sure that their story flows logically. But yes,
That's great.
I've got stuff in the works on that, and I'll hopefully we'll see what happens when those announcements are made.
That's great.
Oh, there's his Patreon link. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up now.
I was looking for that. Okay, I will star that for later as well. Yeah, I thank you for that membership. I'm reading a book from Rod Thunderheart that he wrote and
Through
got
Love,
it
yeah.
self-published, and
Nice.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm digging it, and this is a wonderful medium for you guys to get your work out there. And if you can do short films, like I know Shanatsky has done them, take it that next step, that next level. I can tell you that last December, Romy wrapped on a film where she was the female lead, and it's exactly what you said. All that excitement, boom! It's because independent SAG film. And they had the wrap party, da 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 da. And I think maybe it was less than 2 months ago, we got an email that they locked picture, and they're looking to change the title. It's like that in itself is a victory.
Yeah.
With this filmmaker and the producer's connections, we're hoping that it actually gets sold during this time, because I think this time would be a great time to pick up. It's a family-based comedy trying to save the restaurant. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
She's a matriarch, So everyone's got their projects. Everyone's being creative out of the box. Speaking of, what's going on with how much longer? Oh wait, no, not that. Where's your thing at? Stick it to the man.
Yes.
Indie Hollywood style film that will honor the SAG interim agreement. Island in the Star. Didn't you just do an announcement?
Yeah, Island in the Stars is something I've been working on for years. It's a follow-up to my first film, Trouble Is My Business. It's a science fiction genre film. I'm going to be shooting it in Australia. Got Vernon Wells in it. We're talking to a lot of legendary Australian actors and actresses to be in it. And what it is as a counter to what we're seeing out, with science fiction projects and franchise projects coming out of Hollywood. I was like, what are the movies that like 14-year-old me would have wanted to see that's an original adventure, Jules Verne, Treasure Island, sci-fi type film? So we wrote one, and Script has helped me with it, and we put this package together, and we've been raising financing. So the big announcement on Tuesday is, in order to do the next step, we need some seed money to do the administration, to finalize the company, which will be a PTY Limited in Australia, get an entertainment lawyer. We have an offer for a distributor that we need a lawyer to look at. So we're doing the first ask, which is buy the ticket now when we need it, and get great perks for this movie. We are offering an opportunity to kind of have a fly on the wall view of behind the scenes. You can have dinner with cast members or me, or we can do Zooms. We have the soundtrack. We have access to all of these great perks, and you're essentially giving of yourself and contributing to the movie now when it helps us get the thing made, because we're going up against the system, the Hollywood system. We're making this independent of any of those things that normally they have financing. So we are asking people that are our audience, you're our people, to say, hey, you want to get on board, get enrolled in the film. Island in the Stars is going to be a classic old school adventure science fiction that just they don't make anymore. And my whole life is sort of built to this. As somebody who loves cinema, I've been an actor, I've been a director. All of those things are coming to a point on this film, and it's everything being poured into one thing that is a passion project. So we're really excited about it. On Tuesday night it goes live. It'll have an Indiegogo page, and take a look at it. If you feel like you're the audience for this thing, any contribution will help move the ball forward.
Well, we'll have to bring you back on in a few weeks, and
love that. Yeah,
that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And you got your Instagram page here as well.
Yep, got the Instagram for it, and we actually have a new sort of concept reel, which I can send to you, Paulie, and if you want to share it at some point, you're welcome to share it or play it. But it sort of is an overview, an interview with some of the people, myself included. So I will put it to you, and you can take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I think we're gonna pivot and do some goofy stuff. Me and Fletcher, as far as segments. So I want you guys to exit with grace there, and let's get a Script Doctor. What you got cooking?
Doing some reviews on my Patreon, so feel free to sign up for that. I have a 7-day free trial of the base tier, so if you are curious but don't want to commit, and I completely understand with that, you can sign up for the 7-day free tier. Take a look at all of my backlogs of posts, and if that is to your liking, I'd appreciate your support. If not, no worries. I want only people who can feel like they're going to get a benefit out of the Patreon to sign up, and because it makes me feel better too that way. And on top of that, I will probably be hosting our good friend Tom here next week to talk more about his Island in the Stars, which is a project he has mentioned to me a number of times, and I also had the privilege of reading the script, and I really liked it a lot. But I'm not going to spoil it for any of you. You have to go buy that ticket.
That's right. Buy that ticket. But yeah, Script was invaluable. His knowledge of story and writing is very impressive. Anyone who's looking for advice on writing, I encourage you to contact him, to collaborate, to get notes, to edit. He offers a very clear point of view and a very structured way of looking at writing to release your creativity. So I can't say enough good things about him, and you should definitely contact him.
Well, gents, I'm gonna say adios and thank you for your time. I'll see you soon on other channels and all that stuff. But
yeah, you're the best, Paulie. You're so supportive, and you have a terrific show.
Oh, and it's great to have you, Tom, here, and Script. It's been a minute, so
it has. But yeah, we cross paths very often, Paulie. So
I know, but to have you here is very cool, and this is important. This is important to, obviously, in our household. We're a strike household, and You know
Yep.
how it goes.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, to everyone out there listening, thank you so much for your support with regards to the strike if you have it. And I completely understand your criticisms for the stuff that you don't like, but the sooner we get back to work, the better chances we have of mitigating those things a lot
Correct.
faster.
If you think it's crap, let us back in there. Let's see if we can clean
That's
things
right.
up. Yeah.
All right, gents. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Adios.
you, Paulie.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. All right. Well, let's that was cool, man. Got Fletcher back. We'll do a quick little pivot, Fletch.
Pivot.
And the show's not over. Don't go anywhere, guys. We got a couple of we have a pop culture potpourri, and then I'm gonna tell you about 3 movies coming up you might not have heard of. Quick thoughts
Right.
there, Fletcher. Quick thoughts. What you got?
No, I think it's cool. I think it shows that there is a lot of moving parts to this, but the boiling down point is that people just want to get paid for what they work. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we're going into pop culture potpourri, guys. We if this and then maybe the Friday night tacos hasn't taught us anything, is that we need to be zen. We need to be zen. And by being zen, we can maybe be Spocklight. I saw this image the other day. I was like,
That's funny.
this is awesome.
That's funny. This is OG Spock, not the new Spock.
No, this is the only one Spock for me, and it's the Buddha Spock is just everything. Look at that.
That's pretty cool. It's a great sculpture.
So I got a couple images for you guys. You guys can comment in the chat. Super chat's great. So don't go nowhere. We got like a little more fun entertainment for you guys. Random pop culture potpourri stuff. Next slide is. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Pick your Batman.
Pick your
Who do you
Batman.
guys got?
Yeah.
Who do you guys got? I mean, I think the first 2 guys on top are probably the ones I know nothing about. No disrespect.
Right.
So who do you got? Who's your Batman?
Hey, you know what? The funny thing is that it's Adam West and Michael Keaton, I think, are the ones that kind of, because I had, I grew up with the Adam West because we always get everything like that's old from the United States became new like in South America. So like all the old shows were like it. So I grew up watching it as a kid, and then Michael Keaton. I like, Christian Bale, and I didn't thought I was gonna like Ben Affleck, but I just
I tell
didn't
you
do
who I
it.
don't like. I tell you who I just want them nothing to do with Batman's ever again. George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and Batboy there, Pattinson. Pat Boy, Patman. Oh God, honestly, man, on different levels, I'm kind of like the same. Keaton, Bale, Affleck. They're just all there for me.
Right. It had more oomph in it.
West and Bale are my favorites. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people love the old TV show, man.
Yeah, the old TV shows were like it. I mean, it's funny because they're campy, but it had the rogues gallery of villains. It was fun.
I'm just saying, more mega.
Just fun stuff.
I'm just saying. You could call it my dark side. I mean, well, he's not on this list. Rest in peace, right? Didn't he pass away?
Yeah, he just passed away.
He just passed.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's a completely different list. That's
it's a
like
different list.
Yeah,
it's a different list. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with live action, TV and film. Live action.
Yeah.
But
it's
I saw this. And you know
fun.
what? I absolutely love Ben Affleck. I love Bale. I love Batman Begins, man, so much.
Right.
All right, well, this is a good
Val Kilmer
one.
wasn't that bad.
Whatever, dude.
Just saying.
Here's the next random panel, random slide here we got for you in Pop Culture Potpourri. You lead this one. You sent this to me. What is this?
So it says, your mom says that you want to go see the film from the Blue Hero, Blue Label, and obviously referring to the alcoholic brand, and so he's saying, yeah, no, Dad, but yeah, kind of. So this is a bit of a play on it. The way dads, Latino dads always get
Right.
get wrong. And if they drink, they'll gear towards certain drinks.
Yeah. I think after this past weekend's box office, I think anyone who's affiliated with Blue Beetle needs to drink.
It's a good Blue Label.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Nick Cage through the years.
That's funny. You know what's funny? From 20 is from 2002 to like now. It's kind of like it stands still.
I'm waiting to see if we get.
But I love the reference. Yeah. Aren't they going to remake Face Off? Oh, nobody got it?
Nobody got it, huh?
Oh, come on.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, there
87
you go.
all the way. 97 all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Face offer.
Face offer.
Face offer.
I'll take it or leave her. Face offer.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Are they gonna remake it or something?
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not.
I do know that Ang Lee was in pre-production for the Bruce Lee biopic.
Oh wow.
And
interesting.
It's on hold with the strike.
Right.
But one of my buddies is working his camera crew.
Oh, okay.
And he was over a couple weeks ago. It's like, I'm screwed. Like, but once it goes, it'll be a year in Malaysia. I mean,
Oh, they're filming in Malaysia. Interesting.
That's what he told me.
Huh.
So I don't see Ang Lee being involved in a face-off remake for, but with this strike going on, the longer the strike goes on, it's not good.
Yeah, the more. Yeah,
it just changes everything.
Morph. Yeah.
Money goes
Things
away.
change hands. Yeah.
Maybe like let's talk about like this Ang Lee Bruce Lee movie. Maybe the actor, I don't know, something happens to him. I don't know what.
Yeah.
They pull back the money. Who will be the lead in Face Off or in the Bruce Lee movie? I don't know who the lead is for the Bruce Lee film.
Yeah, I don't even know who the lead for the Face Off would be either. Yeah,
the 2022 is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Face Off, Con Air, Wild at Heart.
Yeah,
those are great movies.
Racing Arizona.
It's gonna be a remade as a Disney movie with Rachel Zegel.
Nice.
We almost went a stream without bringing up little old Rachel.
That's it, Of course, you have to bring it up. Thanks.
TF gonna keep that that going here. Okay, we got another panel here. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a cookie?
No, I think it's a cake. Oh, no.
Is it a cake? No, I think it's a cookie.
It's a cookie.
Yeah.
Allergic to pendejos.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That would be funny to give people. It's like idiots, So it'd be funny to have like little ones have made, and you just, if somebody's trying to harass you, just give it to them, give them a cookie.
Yeah, or maybe like put on the backside of a Latino Slant logo.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's like, hello, good sir. Oh no, thank you. No, thank you. Here you
Hello.
go.
Hello
Allergic to
there.
pendejos. Yes.
What's up? What's up, Jaime? How are you, man? Good to see
Have
you.
you seen the Jaime clips that he has of his movie?
I did.
Dude,
I gotta
that
like.
thing.
I gotta do. We got other films we're gonna show right now, but we'll put that together in a proper package.
Yeah, that thing looks cool.
She's probably a really nice kid surrounded by wankers. Well, I was saying that at first, English, backing her up, but I don't know where they're getting this footage, man. They just keep coming up with footage of
Just
her
keep
being
coming up. Yeah.
her being
It
a
just
little
keeps.
punk, man.
Yeah. So it kind of makes you think, like, oh my gosh, her publicist did like
Oof.
gymnastics to keep that out of the press, you know?
Right? Killing with cookie kindness. Oh,
Cookie kindness. Oh,
how
cookie.
many
Yes.
calories? Looks really good.
Yes, that's fun. Yeah.
I don't
that'd be
know, but
funny.
it's
Yeah.
allergic to pendejos. Yeah, hopefully Rachel can
Get her act straight.
get her act straight, man. Get her act straight.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
oof, yeah, it's just been
Okay,
rough.
we got a couple of movies that are
Cool.
getting some releases. Let's talk about them really fast because these are movies you probably will not have heard of.
Hmm.
And I'll do it in the order of them being released. Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe in selected theaters September 8th, based on the book by Benjamin Alire Sainz. Set in 1987 in El Paso, it's a tale of two teenage Mexican-American loners as they explore their friendship and the difficult road to self-discovery. I'm going to say this about this movie. This book is one of my favorite books of the last 10 years. It's so well done. It's so well done. Well, I have his other books as well, the author. I'm just going to say that. So I am going to see it. There is a trailer. If we have time, we'll put the trailer up. But it is the way he told this tale was it just had me, and the fact that it was set in the 80s, spot on. So we'll see.
Isn't Lin-Manuel Miranda attached to it?
Yeah, he's like one of the executive producers. Eva
Alright.
Longoria plays the mom. But I'm already seeing a lot of. I'm going to be very honest with the review. I'm a huge fan of the book. I'm a huge fan of the book. So we'll see. Okay, that's Aristotle and Dante. Review will come out soon. Okay, what do we got next? A Million Miles Away, starring Michael Pena. This comes out September 15th. It follows Jose Hernandez, the first migrant farm worker to travel to space, a tale of perseverance, community, and sacrifice to accomplish the impossible dream. True story.
Yeah, and it comes out in movie theaters as well, right?
I think it's coming out in movie theaters for like a week.
Right, like a limited release.
Yeah. I think it's coming
Cool.
out for a week. Now, a buddy of mine, filmmaker Kenneth Castillo, actually saw it last week and he says it's incredible.
Cool.
So, Michael Pena is very likable, I think
Yes.
him and Ant-Man, and then what do you call it?
Narcos.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be great to see him in a good movie as a leading man.
Yeah.
And it's a true story. It's a great American
Right.
story there.
And I think this is the second thing with Prime because I think he was on. He was one of the main characters in the new Jack Ryan, which I think is Prime.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, well, they
Is
don't
that
have
any
him
good?
in the. I didn't finish watching it. It
Mhm.
looked pretty good to start. His
Mhm.
character to me came off a little bit different,
Mhm.
but I think he's supposed to be different. I think he's supposed to be like a little bit, mysterious, I guess. So I would have to watch another episode to see if that was like a, because he like has like different facets to it. But he's on the new Jack Ryan.
So this is going to be on Prime, and I will review it. If there is a screening in the theater, I'm going to go to that.
Yeah.
And we'll have the review out for you. And then, of course, again, the movie before it, Dante and Aristotle is going to be in selected theaters. Julissa says, I'm usually disappointed when they make my favorite books in the movies. Yeah,
Books always better. Yeah.
books are always better. And I got to tell you, man, this book is just so well, it's just so charming and just well done. You really fall in love with the characters. Here's an interesting fact. Was it Dante or Aristotle? One of the leads, one of these guys was supposed to be Xolo.
Oh wow.
Xolo Maridueña was involved in it, and I think he even did a live reading of the movie script with the with everyone. And then he didn't. I think that's very interesting.
Wow.
Is that Alejandra's directorial debut? Alejandra. Who's Alejandra?
I think it means Alejandro. The director.
This actor?
No, the director.
The
film
director.
by-
Oh no, that's not Alejandro. That's H. Alberto. And I think this is her feature film debut.
Okay.
But she was the one who got the deal with the novelist.
Mm.
So, vas a ver. Oh, Million Miles Away. Michael Pena. Let's let me see who the director is. Saying it's Alejandra. Look her up. Alejandra Abella, known for Northern Skies Over Empty Space, The Good Girls, Semana Santa. So she is definitely has a resume. Let me see, director. Million Miles Away coming up. Everything she's done episodes of Narcos. So that's probably the connection. Narcos Mexico. That's the connection with Michael Pena.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. But Northern Skies Over Empty Space. Is that a movie? That is a movie.
Yeah.
So she did a film last year, which kind of looks interesting as well. Oh, I might check that out.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Where am I? So there you go. There's your, and there was a super chat we've been waiting to get to really fast. Olaf Van Ness, who's a great member of the channel and supporter, mod extraordinaire, for €2. Great stream to see Chelsea, Tom, and Script on. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah. It's like a all-star.
Okay. So thank you, Olaf. Finally, another movie to watch. Radical. Radical is based on a true story, follows a teacher in a Mexican border town full of neglect, corruption, and violence as he tries a radical new method to unlock their students' curiosity, potential, and maybe even their genius. And that stars the great Eugenio Derbez, who's also in Dante and Aristotle, that movie.
Oh, okay.
Eugenio Derbez is a huge star. I don't know if you've ever heard of him from Mexico, but
I'm sure I've seen him in something.
he basically had to scrimp and save to get this movie done, and we're going to show it to you, watch it together. Radical
Oh
was
yeah,
was the
dude's
hit. Yeah, he
yeah.
was the
He's
hold on. He was the hit of Sundance this year. Comes out October 20th. Go ahead.
oh yeah, dude's all the stuff. I mean, he's on basically on Mexican daily television like every freaking day. His shows are like super syndicate. Dude's like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think some of the movies he makes are just like
Geek
love
Shopology is a
projects.
big fan of his.
Yeah, because he's got a huge comedy show. That's
Al revés, de revés.
yeah,
Something
La
like
Familia Peluche.
So let's check out this Radical trailer. What do you think?
Sure.
Let's do it. Coming out October 20th.
Seguro todos saben. A pesar de que la primaria es obligatoria y gratuita, más de la mitad de los niños de sexto no pasaron a secundaria. De acuerdo a la prueba, estamos en el mero fondo. Estamos fallando. ¿Cuál es su historia, profesor? ¿Usted pidió venir aquí? ¿Para qué? Pues, quizá estoy loco.
¡Órale, apúrense! No tenemos mucho tiempo.
Pero, ¿qué les pasó a las bancas?
No son bancas, son botes salvavidas. Y no están en el piso. Es el océano. Cada bote puede llevar solamente el mismo número de personas. Somos 23 y solo hay 6 botes. Ahí cuéntenle. ¿Listos? ¡Venga! 5, 4, 3.
¿Qué demonios pasa aquí?
¡Ahí hay un último pasajero! ¡Sálvenlo! ¡Vamos! ¡Apúrense!
Estoy tratando de entender qué es lo que intenta hacer aquí.
Nada ha cambiado en la educación en los últimos 100 años.
No vaya a patear el avispero, ¿ok?
No, ¿cómo cree que? No. Intenten adivinar. No importa si se equivocan. Lo importante es que lo intenten. ¿Quién quiere ser el primero en equivocarse? Lo que ustedes necesitan, lo que cada uno de ustedes necesita, ya lo tienen. Y se llama potencial.
Esta es la luz desenfocada, pero ¿qué pasaría si la enfocamos? Esto les va a gustar todavía más. Miren lo que le pasa a esta botella de gasolina.
¡No, no!
Nice. All
That's funny.
right. That's my kind of movie.
Yeah.
We need more movie. I mean, obviously, this is based on a true story.
Yeah. You
And
could tell it's a project that he wanted to get behind.
yeah, you know you're gonna you know they're going to tug the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
I think it looks pretty good. It
Derbez
has
is so
that-
talented.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. It's good. It's good to see someone is like he's made all his money,
Mhm.
so he wants to actually make more art now. So it's cool.
Okay, deleted scenes looks good.
Yeah.
Looks fun. Looks good, actually. I mean, these are the type of message movies we want Hollywood to be doing. Sound of Freedom. This. I love this stuff. And I actually heard great things about it coming out of Sundance. And yeah, you know what someone brought up? Satanic Hispanics. Yes. The filmmakers got a hold of me. I'm expecting it's like a gift box with stuff in it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's getting sent to me, so we'll do an unboxing of that. but the review to Satanic Hispanics has been up because I saw it like almost a year ago.
Yeah.
So you can check that out. It's 5 different horror stories in one feature-length film. It's pretty wicked.
But it's got like a limited release again, right? Like a re-release.
Well, it never had a theatrical. It was just only
okay.
I'm gonna bring it up. It was only ¿cómo se llama? Film festivals.
Like a film festival. Okay.
Just like Radical. Radical
Okay.
was at Sundance, and now it got bought, and then it got the release.
Oh, okay, cool.
Satanic Hispanics got the same thing here. Let's see here.
Yeah, because I even remember when you reviewed it.
Right. Film
You had one of the
release.
directors on, didn't you?
We didn't. We've been talking about Gigi Sal Guerrero and Mike
Yeah.
Mendez coming on. So Mike's the one who got a hold of me, and hopefully we can get them. You know what? Let me look up Satanic. Satanic. Because I saw the poster at the AMC last week, and I was like,
Yeah, that's what I
"Whoa,
said. Yeah.
that
Saw
looks
the poster the other day.
September 14th, and it looks like it's getting a wide release. Look at this.
Oh wow.
I mean, September 14th, it's at AMC Century City, Universal City Walk, Baldwin Hills. Here's the one that's near my house, Crenshaw. Rego
Crenshaw.
LA, Marine. This is a big release, guys.
That's a big release, yeah. I said I saw it over here in Chicago.
Congratulations. Oh, there's tickets there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Those posters. Yeah.
There you go. Wow. That's dope.
That's coast to coast.
Can you play the trailer? Maybe. But here's the information on Satanic Hispanics. I liked most of them. I liked some more than others as far as the 5 different stories. Let me see here. Oh, God.
Catch your Ceros and
Right.
cardboard with some
Okay.
sauce.
Let's get this thing going here. Here we go. Dread.
Everybody down! El Paso Police!
Hey, why don't you fill me in?
27 dead bodies, all shot in the head. And only one survivor.
I bet he's got one hell of a story to tell.
There are portals back and forth from one realm to the other. Problem is sometimes
That was
portals don't
funny.
close
The vampire one
once they're
was
The vampire one was
excellent.
funny, right?
If I don't leave here within the next 90 minutes, we are all going to be dead.
That one was the most violent. This one. That was
Yeah.
nuts.
And that was what the one the lady did, wasn't it?
That was Gigi Guerrero is the director of that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Detective, you have no idea.
That's the through line.
What is
Yeah.
coming.
He tells the story of all the other ones. Did you see this already?
No, I didn't see it. I just saw it through you.
Gotcha. There you go.
See you in hell.
Yeah, and they're filmmakers from all over Latin America. So it's like there's one in Argentina, one in Mexico, one in New
Right.
York. Very different in approach and look and feel. Some are campy, some are very unfiltered and violent. One's very Tarantino violent. I really like this one, and I was very happy for the filmmakers. That looks cool. Plus, add a bonus. Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Vote Pedro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got that 4 rooms type of deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. God, I knew there was one I missed. So we got all these great movies lined up, and if you aren't in someone, I think Donovan said this. Sounds like the strike is having a unintended positive effect as films that didn't get releases are now. I think it's a combination of those film companies that saw the writing on the wall and bought that are buying these independent films and getting big releases. You're absolutely right, Donovan. You're absolutely right. I'm hoping for that Romy's film gets a release. It's a family comedy. So that's great.
Yeah. It might start seeing more of that, yeah.
Strong Tales from the Crypt vibe.
Yeah.
So look, you got, and this is what's so cool is that all of these are so different from each other.
Different, yeah.
I mean, Radical and Million Miles are kind of the same underdog, true story, but still. And no, it is, education coming up from nothing. But this one is a coming of age in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Then a Million Miles, and here Radical, and then you have Satanic Hispanics. I mean, very good time. And this is another thing as far as the Latino slant. This has been a really great year for films that have Latino storylines in it that are getting out there.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a really good end of the year wrap up for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, all right.
Look forward to it.
Let's wrap it up. You guys have been wonderful. Next week, we're going to have the co-creator of the DC comic, Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle, Coley Hamner, here on the channel. He was supposed to come on today, but it worked out. He's going to come next week, and I think that just works out. He will be with us next week, guys. Coley Hamner, the co-creator of Jaime Reyes DC comic from 20 years ago. So, let's thank all the super chats. Got new memberships. We got new members.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shelly Lee.
Yes.
What else, my friend?
Yeah, and don't forget that I think you got a movie coming out that so you might be doing an Out of the Theater.
Oh yeah, movies to see. That's right. What am I seeing?
I think you said The Haunting of Venice. Haunted in Venice.
The Haunting of Venice is September 9th, but we're seeing
Equalizer 3.
The Equalizer 3 this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man, I was so want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that. I did see. We did see Strays yesterday. Had a blast. Honestly, I didn't think that the film Strays would have so many sexual jokes that were pretty disgusting. Listen, I'm an adult. I was laughing, but there were so many kids in the damn crowd. I was like, oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, so this is kind of like that one sausage fest that they did, and they had a bunch of kids come to the movie, and because it's like a hot dog movie, and it was real raunchy.
Yeah, but it was National Cinema Day, so everything was crowded.
Yeah, everything was. Yeah.
Thank you, Deleted.
Wow.
Thank you, my man.
Later, Steven.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, English. Good having you.
So you're gonna do a review of that?
No, Strays. No. I did really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it, though. It was stupid fun. And it made us come home really fast and hug our dogs. Yeah. I couldn't believe there were kids there. Oh my god. And it was like, like dick jokes, a lot of them. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah. Was not
Nice.
subtle. Was
Wow.
not subtle.
Some parents
but
really.
Equalizer 3, and I got some other stuff, some other videos lined up for this week. Everyone, take care wherever you're at. Keep your slam fuerte.
Peace.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.